Horses, big house with a bunch of people my age. I wanted parents. I wanted a mom and a dad. Before I even prayed it, the Lord had already answered my prayer with the Big Oak Ranch. Who would that 9-year-old be if she never came to the Big Oak Ranch? I would be trying to fight for survival instead of fighting to break a cycle.
Big Oak Ranch, a Christian home for children needing a chance.
A poll conducted by Morning Consult found that Governor Kay Ivey has the nation's highest job approval rating among her state's Republican voters at 86%. The group polled the approval ratings of all Republican governors within their own state's GOP voters. Ivey was also the 5th most popular governor among all voters, regardless of party, with 64% approval from all Alabama voters. Ivey scored better in the poll than popular governors like Florida's Ron DeSantis, Georgia's Brian Kemp, and South Dakota's Kristi Noem. She is now term limited and scheduled to leave office in January of 2027. I'm Parker Snyder in for Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
Honey, wake up.
What?
I think something's burning.
I don't smell anything.
I'm gonna go check.
Each year, over 65,000 American homes suffer a fire due to an electrical problem. Is your home safe? You can't be sure unless you call Crosby Electric, your exclusive provider of Current Safe, the world's foremost home diagnostic system. Crosby Electric will send a specially trained electrician to your home. Using high-tech equipment, they'll check your hidden wiring, panel box, light switches, and electrical outlets to make sure your home is safe.
Well, it appears that we found the culprit. Faulty wiring.
I should have had it checked.
Just be thankful everyone's okay.
For an in-home no-obligation assessment, visit crosbyelectric.com. Don't just think it's safe, know it's safe.
Now you're safe.
The Health and Wealth Show. The Health and Wealth Show. The show so nice, we said it twice. Weekday evenings at 6 on News Talk 93.1 WACV. The Health...
Break it up, son. Joke's over, hey?
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Hey, mister, I don't mean to be telling tales out of school, but there's a fella in there who'll pay you $10 if you sing into his hand. I'm not here to make a record, you dumb cracker. They broadcast me out on the radio.
Joey Clark.
Welcome into News and Views on a Friday. What a week it's been. I'm feeling good. Feeling real good. And in the studio, rejoining me after a few days off, we have the one, the only Eddie Bader. How you doing, Eddie?
Doing good. How you doing, bro?
Doing all right. And we also have from 1819 News, Craig Monger. How you doing, Craig?
Oh, I'm flat tired, but killing the game.
Killing it. I like that. So there's plenty to get to today. But I want to start off with, since you're so into, like, fitness,
Fitness pizza in my mouth.
I know. Yeah, seriously, 3 days off, and we're starting with the most cliche dad joke in the book.
Got lots of them built up. I hadn't had.
I appreciate you, Eddie.
I'm letting you know. You know how women have to get so many words out a day, and I always used to laugh about that.
Right.
I think I'm kind of like that because I haven't been able to talk to you guys in a while, so I've got.
So you've got like dad joke constipation.
I got some build up.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's a lovely thought.
Yeah, just. Keep that in mind
they say dad joke retention can actually lead to prostate cancer.
I've heard
really?
that. I have heard that.
That's good. It's not good to hold it in.
No, it's not good to hold it all.
Right, yeah. But I've been doing like these sauna workouts. I admit it. The infrared sauna.
Ooh, yeah.
And dadgum, it works. Have you ever done anything?
No,
like
I've not, but I hear a lot of good things. The research on the infrared saunas is coming out, and it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, my cousin, Scott, who's a psychologist, recommended a few months ago, saying just for mental health benefits, you don't even have to work out, just go sit in one.
Okay, Fisher price the infrared sauna down for us. I think of a sauna as you got the heat, and you're putting the water on there, and you're getting the steam.
Infrared, there's no steam or water involved.
Just
but
you walk in like a microwave?
Yeah, and like some of those, like I think Tucker and Rogan were talking about this, where they put it up to 190, 200, which is hot.
Ooh.
But in these, I'm doing the hot works thing, so it's like 125, 130, and you just set it, and you're ready to go. You do like stretching workouts, or you can just sit in there, and I like it. Like it really is.
Now, is there
tough.
a big difference between that and Alabama in July doing that kind of outside?
Actually, that's the only thing comparable to it.
Okay.
It's like when it's really hot in the middle of the summer, humid, and you start, it's, I guess, heat index of 120, 130.
Yeah.
But you're sitting in there for a while, and it's like a tiny little wood-paneled room. Like, it's so small, Eddie, I can touch the ceiling with my hand without going on my tippy toes.
Did you put a Nerf hoop in there just so you could dunk?
Yeah. Yeah, I thought about it. I don't know if the folks there at the facilities. But anyway, I'm a believer. I think it works. And it's not just like, oh, I lost weight. The biggest benefit is, like, mentally. I feel a lot. Y'all know how the moods I can get in.
Now, is it quiet while you're in there? Do you have...
No, there's usually some class going on, and it's usually some axe murderer lady. Looks like it. That, you know, some ladies have that smile.
She drive a Subaru,
right? Or a Subaru. I'm not talking about that.
Okay.
Anyway, there's plenty in the news. I suppose we could start with all these trials going on, in particular the immunity hearing in front of the Supreme Court of the United States. You know, I'm just looking at headlines here, folks, and it doesn't look good, actually, for those that want to see Trump prosecuted.
Oh.
Politico Playbook PM from last night. How SCOTUS might save Trump from his biggest trial. The Supreme Court today took up the explosive question of how far Donald Trump's presidential immunity from criminal prosecution extends, a complex legal question surrounding the aftermath of the 2020 election, whose resolution should shake the 2024 election. Notably, Chief Justice John Roberts and Justices Gorsuch and Kavanaugh raised the possibility that a Supreme Court could send the matter back to the D.C. Circuit Court for further analysis. Roberts and Kavanaugh, two of the typical swing votes within the conservative supermajority, go that route. It could doom special counsel Jack Smith's federal election subversion trial to be delayed until after the election. Another possible avenue for delays, Justice Amy Coney Barrett, often another swing vote, seemed interested in creating a test for presidential defense to prosecution that would fall short of absolute immunity, which could also go back to the lower court for further litigation. So it's amazing. Now, one of the lines that came out is, I believe it was Justice Jackson. She brought up, you know, if you give full immunity to presidents, the presidency will become a seat of criminality. I'm like, wait.
Perish the thought.
Hasn't it been that? For a long, long time?
For a while.
Right.
That was one of the benefits of becoming president.
Right. And I love, like, we're still pretending like this is all legitimate. I mean, the U.S. government is legitimate in the sense that they can control you,
take your money,
that everybody's dependent on them, that they can destroy reputations and livelihoods and kill you if need be. They would never kill somebody. Well, not often, but, you know, they killed Jack. You know, Jack Kennedy?
Yeah.
They killed that guy. Yep. And in fact, I think if Trump gets in there, watch out. He better have very good private security. I'll put it that way.
I've said that from day one. Even when his last run in his last presidency, to me, I used to think Obama was the most likely, unfortunately, one who would have trouble with that in the White House until Trump got there.
Right.
I think Trump is more hated by extremists than anybody.
Well, and it's, I don't know, I've been putting it this week this way. The most likely outcome is probably that Joe Biden wins.
Yeah,
and with everything being thrown at Trump, I'm not going to do what every frickin' conservative commentator does, where they're like, it's the tipping point. This is the most important election in your lives and all this stuff. No, I think the long-term trends are going to go the way they're going no matter who's elected, number one.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, with everything being thrown at Trump, maybe there's a silver line, like a little ray of hope here when it comes to what the Supreme Court's doing. But with everything being thrown at him, it will take a miracle for that man to win the presidency again. Just think about the institutions and what they've been saying, how they've been going about this.
Sure.
They're not playing around.
I agree.
They didn't take him seriously in 2016.
Right. They did not.
They did not. They did in 2020, and they will in 2024.
And that makes you wonder, where does this all go? Do we essentially have like a preview of November happening right now on college campuses, for instance? because those scenes are just bonkers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's part of me that's like, well, Governor Abbott, for instance, came out and said, we got rid of these protesters because they're expressing anti-Semitism. I'm like, no, wrong answer, Governor.
Yeah.
Wrong answer. I'm not saying anti-Semitism's good. I'm saying you're allowed to be anti-Semitic in the United States, express those awful beliefs. Now, were these folks trespassing? Were they blocking property, harassing others? There's all sorts of reasons you might want to say, cops, get in there, let's get these people out of there. But to say we're doing it because of the words they're saying, it's just playing right into this battle that we've been having over free speech now for quite some time. And I hate to see the right go so woke on this particular issue, but that's exactly where it's gone. But it makes you wonder, is that just going to be contained to the college campuses, or do we see something even bigger than, say, the Black Lives Matter summer?
Well, what was it, a couple weeks ago with the whole Golden Gate Bridge? Remember they shut that down? And I think that was an anti-Israeli demonstration. So what if they start that nationwide?
Yeah.
And, and like you said, if it expands from the college campuses, I don't think they would do it around here, but I can see it in other places being a big problem.
Right. But maybe this all goes away. I know a lot of folks are making hay of the ongoing trial there in New York City. I still maintain that this is a joke.
Yeah.
Oh, certainly.
Big joke.
Until he found guilty.
Well,
then
it's still kind of a joke.
Yeah.
Oh, well, put the handcuffs on me. Oh, no, put me in jail.
Wasn't the E. Jean Carroll thing in New York, too? I mean,
Yes.
everyone's... New York is not to be taken seriously as an entity at this point. Because not only did they get him for the defamation, but they got him beforehand when they changed the law so that the statute of limitations didn't apply. Then he was civilly convicted of sexual assault of E. Jean Carroll, and then he was convicted of defamation for saying that he didn't do it.
Right.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, and they even changed the law right with this federal finance violation. Like, to where it became this state crime where if you didn't classify as a federal thing the right way, we can now in New York State put you in prison.
Yeah.
Which is just, this is the sort of thing that is the death of governments.
Certainly.
Or at least the death of their legitimacy, other than in the eyes of the faithful there. There are a lot of folks that want to do that.
Oh, yeah.
But the way this is going, it's more to me confirming what I've believed for years and years and years now. And this is, I guess, my message going into 2024, is don't just assume it's the other side who are the Machiavellian players. Like, oh, these Supreme Court justices are just trying to delay because Trump put them on the court. Like, maybe. But you don't think your side does all that crap too?
Yeah.
Are we really pretending that this is all about principle at this point? Or is it about a competing gangs of influence trying to grab hold of power of the state?
Yeah, and it's in all three branches. It doesn't matter where each that is supposed to be a bulwark against the other. They've all been corrupted by the same spirit, if you want to say that. It's obviously in the Supreme Court when you have your contrary sides. Obviously, Justice Jackson is indicative of that, and then obviously there are the conservative judges on the other side, and obviously it happens in Congress, and then. It just depends on whoever's butt is polishing the seat in the White House, depending on what the priorities of the administration are. So it goes back and forth, and each try these little games, and each try to. Well, it's unreal.
And they love having a game where they're all in on it.
Oh yeah.
And that's why I think Trump is impalatable for them. Like, he has to go. We need to pull out all the stops to take this guy out because he's playing the game in a way that's independent from the rest of the system.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, he's actually serious about what he says.
And I would say the last president that you could say that was that way was probably JFK. And look what happened to him.
Look what happened to Jack.
Yep.
And, it's interesting. Will the RFK Jr. factor be a true spoiler heading into November?
I doubt it. He's slipped a bit into obscurity at this point. Obviously, the Biden administration is working against him. I don't think Trump is giving him a second thought. I think as far as getting... I think RFK was his own worst enemy whenever he announced his VP pick recently. And I think that sort of just more separated the people in the middle that would have gone to him, possibly. Well,
we'll see. I just wanted to lay that out because that's the top news right now. Everybody sitting here, what did the court say? What was the angle here? 272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation. Really, it is Friday. So I'm happy to go wherever. Let's go to line
All
one.
right.
You're on there. Who's this?
Red Top, good Friday to you, gentlemen.
Hey,
How
Red
you
Top.
doing, Red Top?
Oh, don't sound too excited. It's going to be all right. Now, just one ironic thing about this whole Stormy Daniels thing, and, you know, who hasn't she had sex with?
Joey?
I haven't had sex with her.
Probably us three might be the only three, you know what
Well,
I mean?
what about Eddie?
Come on. I'm still a virgin.
Oh, okay. Maybe four of us. But, you know, this whole situation is so bizarre. We got a porn star saying you know, this woman's been naked in front of millions of people. Had sex with her. How many? I don't want to. I'm scared to think of it. I think she's ugly and vulgar on top of that.
Almost porn
I hope.
Yeah, and some people are into that.
Yeah. Yeah. This is vulgarity at the peak. You know what I mean? But it's just weird. You know.
Wait, really? Are you expecting porn to be wholesome?
There's women that aren't that vulgar.
Well, yeah, there are women, but like the vulgarity sort of is the point.
It's like a non-violent, like
just
non-vulgar
saying,
porn is like a non-violent boxing match. It's an oxymoron.
Right.
I'm just saying her appearance, period, with clothes on, is vulgar. You can tell she's a hoe. I just don't go for that kind of women. I like very educated, smart women that speak multiple languages, and especially like Russian women and women on the French Riviera, not vulgar, trashy women like that.
I'm going to write this down. That's our first hoe of the day. All right. See
Yeah,
how many
there's
more
no doubt about it.
we get.
And God bless him. I hope this all gets delayed. And, you know, big deal, Congress, the House is having a hearing saying Donald Trump's being abused by the judicial system. Did it only take him 7 years to realize that? I think so.
Yeah.
Roll Tide, go Trump. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Red Top. 272-9228. Got to hit this break here. We'll be back. Reset the table here. There's actually one fun thing. I found this at Not the Bee. The DNC just launched a focus group, or a series of focus groups, to figure out why Americans don't like Kamala Harris. And apparently the results are, well, you didn't really need to do the focus groups to figure out why, but we'll be back with that and other stories after that.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
When your tax refund comes, put it on the floor and walk on it. Revitalize the look and feel of your home with new floors from Prattville Carpet. With faster and better service than the big box stores and luxury vinyl planks starting as low as $4.99 per square foot. You'll enjoy that tax refund turned flooring every single day.
Hi, I'm Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. If you're looking for waterproof carpet, hardwood, laminate, vinyl plank, or ceramic tile, call us today for your free measurement.
Dial 285-8117 or visit PrattvilleCarpet.com.
Prattville Carpet, we're more than just carpet.
Hey, this is Prattville Mayor Bill Gillespie asking you to join in with the Jones Drugs on Saturday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. for the National Drug Take Back event. Come by the parking lot of the Prattville location. You can bring your unneeded or expired prescriptions. That's Saturday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-632-4055 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-632-4055. That's 800-632-4055. What do you have to lose? Call 800-632-4055. Again, 800-632-4055.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
If you'd like a chance to win a 2024 Land Rover Defender, you'll want to visit Wind Creek, Wetumpka. Play and earn entries every day. Then be there Saturday, April 27th, starting at 5 p.m. to see if you drive off in the Land Rover or win thousands in cash and free play. Do what you want. Bring home a new Land Rover Defender. Visit Wind Creek, Wetumpka to find out how and to find your winning moment. Problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Live, local talk. The River Region's most trusted voice for news and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Both Eddie Bader and Craig Monger in the house today with me. And Craig, you were just asking off air. You were asking our advice. So could you give that to the audience? I wanted to bring this on air.
Yes. So I have 7.5 weeks until I should be thoroughly peeled, and my diet will be done. And like
I'd be done now, just so you know.
I wanted to be
You
done
were
now.
done years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
I really wanted to be done now. Alas, I am a sadomasochist. But as I do, I'm going to allow myself at the end, because if you go too crazy towards the end, you'll just put on a bunch of fat and you'll be gross. But the last day, the next day, I eat normally, and then towards the end of the day, I have kind of a big blowout, and then I just go back to eating my dumb diet food as I start.
That excites me.
Reverse dieting. And so I was thinking about what that was going to be, and my idea, what has been sounding good to me, is a big tub of vanilla ice cream with Fruity Pebbles mixed on top of it, and then you eat the Fruity Pebbles, and then you put more, and then you eat it until the ice cream's gone. And I think that that's a good idea. That's a really good idea. But what are you guys thinking?
A big tub of vanilla ice cream with Fruity Pebble, and you're going to mix it yourself.
Yeah. I buy the ice cream and then buy the Fruity Pebbles.
That's kind of hard to beat. Would you like cookie dough?
I do, but I feel like it's kind of, if you add the Fruity Pebbles to the chocolate chip cookie dough stuff, then there's just too much going on.
No, I'm thinking adding the cookie dough to the Fruity Pebbles and ice cream.
Oh, well, then why wouldn't I just get, chocolate chip cookie dough ice cream then?
Well, maybe that's what you do, and then you add the Fruity Pebble.
Yeah, but you have to add them slowly, because as it starts to melt, you don't want soggy Fruity Pebbles.
Right.
So you do like a scoop, eat them up, scoop, eat them up.
That's going to say, now with your ice cream, do you warm it up at all, or do you?
I just leave it out.
Okay.
I just leave it out. I'll set it out on the counter for maybe a half hour, and then
it's got a little liquid to it.
Just a little on the edges. Once it gets that liquid stuff, and then you use that to dilute the rest, and then the process just kind of keeps up with you as you go.
And the beautiful thing about a celebratory binge is there's no wrong answer. So yes, I think you're right.
I think you're right, but I would probably, because you are a healthy guy, I would involve perhaps some pineapple or banana. Leaning towards like a banana split kind of action.
Well, see, the thing is, I do love banana, but after my diet's over, I include bananas in just about every meal.
You don't want to wear it out.
And this is the interesting thing, though, is you can. So I do something called Carb Cycling, which is once a week I have what is known as a high carb day. And the best thing about that is I eat pretty much more food than I can tolerate, and it's mostly made up of carbohydrates. And I might put on 2 or 3 pounds the next day, but it typically 2 pounds every week, like clockwork, because you expend glycogen and you get what people call flat. You just feel deflated and stringy. Your muscles don't have that pop to them, and you get depleted throughout the week, and then that one day you eat. So I'm eating in a calorie deficit. I'm eating fewer calories than I'm burning more calories than I'm taking in. So your glycogen stores in your liver and your muscles get depleted. So that one day, or even 2 days, depending on the person, it varies, you can eat an incredible amount of carbohydrates and you don't store them as body fat, you store them as glycogen. So it's a way of sort of tricking the system, because you have to eat fewer calories than you burn in order to lose weight. But it's a tricking of the mechanistic system system of the body because you aren't burning those extra calories on the high carb day, but you are storing them, and you're not storing them as body fat because you're so glycogen depleted. So it's a way of tricking the system. So once a week I get to have and my go-to meal, and this is going to sound gross, it's powdered peanut butter. I don't know if you've ever messed with that.
Yeah, sure.
And you reconstitute it with sugar-free maple syrup, which is very, very low in calories.
Mhm.
And then I take a bowl of rice, chicken, and I cut up a banana, put it in there, cinnamon, mix it all up in there.
Oh, with the chicken.
With the chicken.
That's interesting.
It's really good. It works well with ground beef too, but chicken just as well. It's almost like people always look at me weird when I tell them that, but it's like, have you ever had like pad thai?
That's what it's very Asian.
People freak out about like sweetness with their meat, but it's like you do it all the time and you just don't realize that you're doing it.
Right. Yeah. No, and like barbecue chicken is very sweet.
Exactly.
Like,
Pineapple on pizza.
Yeah.
Right. But are you a cereal guy? Because I don't.
I adore
so much of cereal.
You're a cereal guy too, Eddie?
Big cereal guy.
You can go to my house now. There's probably 3 boxes of cereal.
What do you got on the shelf?
My guess would be Cocoa Pebbles. There's probably Frosted Flakes.
That's good.
And I usually feel guilty, so there'll be some type of like Honey Nut Cheerios or something like that up there.
What's the crunch? It's like, gosh, I can't remember.
Captain Crunch?
No,
I love Captain Crunch, but it tears your mouth.
It really does shred your mouth.
It tears your
So
mouth.
I'm a Fruit Loop. Fruit Loops tear my mouth up too. So I like Fruity Pebbles.
Oh, I love Fruity Pebbles.
What the Cookie Crisp? The ones that are little cookies. Those
Cinnamon
are
Toast
delicious.
Crunch?
Yeah, I mean, obviously everything right now.
That's
sounds
Susanna's
delicious to
favorite,
me.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
But Cinnamon Toast Crunch is good, and Captain Crunch with the berries.
Really good.
I'm a huge
And I like
fan
the
of.
peanut butter.
The
Captain Crunch peanut butter. They don't tear up your mouth so much.
What are those? And then the Reese's cereal is not bad either.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Well, and they've now got it like even smaller to where it's almost like Pebbles, apparently. I was
Really?
walking through the this grocery store and I'm like, I haven't eaten cereal since I was like in high school. So
Had
like I
not
just
eaten
never
cereal.
think of I'm a bacon and eggs in the morning guy, and I have been.
What do you
a
eat for
long time.
dinner? I eat cereal for dinner
I
sometimes.
don't eat cereal at night.
Well, that cereal used to be what I would do on my high carb days before I got really hungry and I just wanted food with more substance.
Yeah.
I would just go buy one of those family bags of Fruity Pebbles and just eat it throughout the day.
And I guess what we should do here is, folks, what would be your way to put this? Now, Craig's talking about that wonderful cheat meal after a hard, long slog through cutting and being in the caloric deficit. But it does get to, like, what would be your favorite thing? Because I don't know if I would go with sweet. Like, I would do my, something savory. Something with a dip. I don't know. It's gross, even describing it.
How about I think a little bit of both. If honestly, sincerely, my last meal, it would have a little bit of both. It'd be pancake, bacon, and sausage.
That sounds
with some
great.
maple syrup.
That sounds good.
Maybe some strawberries and whipped cream, all that good stuff, and you can kind of mix it all together.
I would definitely have to do buffalo wings.
Really?
Yeah, I like buffalo wings a lot, but they'd have to be done
Properly,
right.
yeah.
And fried pretty good, and then good mix of that cayenne sauce and butter and like the seasoning. Sounds pretty awesome right now. Buffalo wings. I would probably go with like bacon cheese wedges.
Yeah.
I would do the wedges
With ranch.
Yes. Then I'd have to throw in something sweet. I don't know, maybe something Asian. I've been into like Asian food lately.
Really? But trust me, the Asians don't have great desserts.
No,
Yeah,
they don't.
That's true.
They don't.
Neither do the Mexicans. I don't know what that is.
Churros are not bad.
Churros. I was at Sam's, got a hot dog for lunch. I was very disappointed they don't have the churro sticks.
Oh.
Remember that one I came in here? I was going to bring you one, man.
Well, I tell you, the best like dessert, and it's not even considered a dessert. A lot of Chinese ate it for breakfast. For the love of me, it's not shangchang. That's a sausage. I can't remember the name of it, but it was essentially just this fried bread, and then they would have you dip it in sweetened condensed milk, and that was quite good.
Oh, I think for the dessert, I don't know if they're still making them over there at Fantail, but that fluffy cheesecake.
Oh, dude.
Fluffy cheesecake.
Can't go wrong with a cheesecake.
Yeah.
And I'd probably have to do some like high-end, like, Wagyu great steak.
Yeah.
Like a little bit of that. Maybe do that in a sushi style.
As far as a proper dessert, I would either agree with you, a cheesecake, like a plain, properly cheesecake. I don't want no strawberry, blueberry nonsense.
You know what I'm talking about with the fluffy one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Either that or, and this is, I will argue with anyone, this is the greatest dessert combination of all time, scoop of vanilla ice cream with apple pie.
Oh, sure.
That's
Got to warm up the apple pie.
Oh,
Sure.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
we're good.
Either that or vanilla. I'm willing to say like vanilla ice cream with like a gooey brownie.
Oh, yeah.
A nice hot brownie.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I could do that. What about you, Eddie? Last meal.
Last meal, honestly, it's crazy, but it'd be jerk chicken and juicy patties from Jamaica. I'm craving it like crazy right now. It's been about a year, so I'm about to die to get over there and get something.
Juicy patties?
Yeah, it's like Empanada, I think it's
It's like a meat patty.
Yeah, a meat patty, but they'll do it with lobster or chicken or
I
beef.
think I had that when I was in Jamaica.
Man,
I know I
you
had
probably-
the jerk chicken.
I'm sure you had it because they're everywhere.
Is it baked or fried or?
It's like pan fried is what I remember.
guess that's what
yeah.
it looks like, but it's tender. Like you remember that McDonald's fried apple pie back in the day?
Mhm.
It has that kind of soft, crisp. Oh,
It's almost like a fritter, like like a seafood fritter.
Exactly.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So you'd go the
Oh, yeah.
Jamaican route.
Man, yeah. Because right now I'm just dying for something.
I like that, man. I love the fried plantains when I was in Jamaica. Amazing. And they had this sauce. It wasn't ketchup. It wasn't not ketchup. It was something
their
else.
version of ketchup.
Yeah.
Yeah, because our version of ketchup is just sugar. I mean,
Yeah.
you probably know that more than anybody. It's just sugar.
Well, and then I'm almost wanting to like throw something real down home in there, like a fried bologna sandwich.
Nah, I mean,
That might kill you. That might be the last thing you
Right,
eat 'cause you
it's
have
my
a heart
last
attack.
meal.
Yeah.
so-
But honestly, think about it. What kind of appetite are you going to have the night before your own death?
Man, that's
Yeah.
I'll be insatiable.
Yeah.
Let's go to Paul. Hey, Paul, how you doing?
Well, howdy. How you all been?
I'm doing all right.
Doing good, bud.
Hungry.
I know. I just got back with the range so I could hear y'all. And I didn't hear nobody mention anything about any honey bunches of oats.
That's what I was thinking
Honey
of.
bunches
Honey
of
bunches
oats,
of
yeah.
oats
The little
with
beef.
extra honey on there. That's a good call.
Oh, absolutely. Honey bunches of oats. And the last meal deal now for the dessert. Y'all got to remember that the Danish and the Germans make some excellent desserts.
Yeah, but my mama's
Can't go
banana
wrong
pudding.
there.
Mama's banana pudding.
Oh, banana pudding's a good call too.
Yeah.
Well, you can't argue with banana pudding.
With some whipped cream, and then when they keep the vanilla wafers crispy
Thank
and they
you.
don't get soggy, that's
But I
that's
like-
an art.
My mom cooks hers in the oven. There's a meringue on top. I've never had it that way since then, but it's nice to eat like a
And-
warm banana pudding.
No, and when you mentioned German desserts, though, Paul, I think of that scene in Inglourious Basterds. He's like, no, wait for the cream.
Oh, no.
Yeah, the strudel with the whipped cream does look really good.
Yeah. Oh, I will take some
and
ice cream and throw it on a toaster strudel in an instant. In an instant.
Yeah.
I also heard mentioned in there apple pie with a dollop of vanilla ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the soft serve with peach cobbler. You should try that.
Ooh, yeah, some good old peach cobbler.
I'm not a peach cobbler guy.
Yeah?
Yeah, the
peach-
consistency. It's the consistency of the whole thing. It's like you'll have a
Crust
little,
and all? What about the
it's,
crust?
It's never enough crunch for
Yeah,
my liking.
okay, I got you.
And
I need
Paul,
little
you're
bit
a
more.
soft serve guy?
Oh, sure.
Yeah,
Soft
sure.
serve. When look. When you get up to where I am in age and your teeth are kind of going out, that hard stuff you got to bite. Just don't cut it no more. You got to.
Plus, it starts hurting through your teeth, too.
Tonight, Sonny, we're having some soup, some bisque, and then soft serve ice cream.
I tell you though, if you like a nice soft ice cream, the best thing to do is to do it yourself. Make your own ice cream. I want to get. I don't know if you've seen the Ninja Creamies. I really want to get one. It's a homemade like way to make ice cream. It's
You don't have to do the whole cranky.
no, it's automatic. And the bodybuilder
Sold.
bros love it because they make protein ice cream that's very low calorie, and they can use
about
that.
that,
But you can
yeah.
use it for normal ice cream
man.
too. But what you do is
Oh,
you make a traditional English creme anglaise, which is a English custard. And it's just egg whites, sugar, and milk and cream.
Yeah.
And you mix it up, and you can add anything you want to. So I add like honey and lemon, and then the end. You can add whatever you want, and the end product is always
I could add meat
fantastic.
to that. Can we have a bath of that? And that just sounds delicious.
Yeah. The problem is a lot of it doesn't make it to the ice cream maker. They're just taking spoonfuls.
Yes.
And fellas, on the breakfast deal there, whenever y'all was throwing breakfast foods in there, have y'all ever tried the cheese grits with some chunky salsa, or else soft scrambled eggs with cheese with salsa?
Yeah.
And of course, any kind of good old Kanaka sausage and applewood bacon and
That's a good call.
homemade biscuits.
Oh yeah.
Got to throw in there some sausage gravy. Oh,
Sausage,
man. Y'all tearing me up now.
Yeah, salsa on the cheese grits. That's a new one. I haven't had that.
Sounds
good.
I eat a lot
try
of
it.
grits in the off
What?
season.
I'd try it.
No chunky salsa on the cheese grits. Have you ever tried it with the soft scrambled eggs?
I had that.
Yeah. I mean, that's my go-to breakfast when I'm not dieting is grits with some of that fake plastic American cheese, which is the
Yeah.
best in grits, and then some ground beef with some scrambled eggs.
And
It's
I used to,
fantastic.
when I got up to like
Oh, no,
2:30,
no.
nearly 2:40, I would go to Chappie's every morning before we were doing the show 9 to noon, and I would get 4 eggs, and I get them to put that white kicking cheddar. It's
But of
almost like
course.
a pimento cheese on there.
If you're going to be a bear, be a
with
Christian.
bacon and Kaneka, and then you have to add grilled and buttered and grilled sourdough. And that way it's a little plate and you assemble everything for a perfect bite after perfect bite. And I got fat.
Quick question on that. Craig, you said you have to lose weight, you have to burn off more calories than you eat, correct?
Correct.
How much workout would he have to do to burn that off?
It depends on. It depends on. There are people I know that stay in like single digit body fat year round, and they eat 6,000 plus calories.
You kidding?
a day.
Yeah, my metabolism's not that fast, but
Oh yeah, I got
So
you.
it just varies from person to person. But yeah, the sourdough and eggs thing, like, because my wife makes sourdough, and I'll make very fancy scrambled eggs with a lot of butter and some creme fraiche. And then you chop up some chives in there, so where it's almost like a sauce at the end, and then you scoop that on top of the toasted sourdough.
Man, I got a feeling the more we talk about this, the legislature's going to have to pass a law filtering out this show. Anyway.
Well, now, stop stuttering, Paul. Talking about the cheese, instead of using the single slices, get the cheese dip that's already smooth and kind of halfway liquefied, and just put that over in your cheese grits or put that over in your eggs. And you can't leave out sauteed onions and mushrooms. Come on, fellas.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That does sound
with some with some liver, some nice venison liver. That's one of my favorite dishes.
Oh, later, my buds.
See you, buddy.
Later, man. Well,
liver with the size of the fava beans. Is that
Oh,
what you guys are talking about?
Well, I was asking Allison Sinclair yesterday, y'all ever thought of cannibalism?
Yeah, she kind of went into that a little bit deeper than.
I was surprised she had a good answer.
Yeah,
like
I didn't hear it.
She ain't going hungry.
Well, through the guy who was the deadbeat dad who wasn't around early on.
Yeah.
I think she got to go where he would take them was near where the Donner family crashed and all that happened. And so she had this whole backstory where she had thought about it because she had contemplated what
She's
that
come to
family
peace
went
with
through.
it.
Yeah.
She ain't going hungry.
I am. I've thought about it pretty regularly
Yeah.
too. I mean, it's one of those things. I don't know if you ever read or saw the film The Road with Viggo Mortensen.
I know it's a Cormac McCarthy book,
Yeah,
right?
yes, it is. And but the film, there's a scene in the film where, because they're fighting cannibals in the movie, they're having to avoid them. And the son asks the dad in a scene, he goes, "Dad, if we were starving, would we ever eat humans?" And he goes, "We are starving." And that scene always stuck with me because he's like, the son was like, "If we were starving to death, would we engage in cannibalism?" And the dad looked at his son and said, "We are starving to death, and no, we're not doing that."
Right.
So it was kind of a profound moment. But I think there are certain aspects of your humanity that are more valuable than your own life.
Yes.
And I think that is a line that I'm not willing to cross. It's like someone said, "Hey, would you take this baby and throw it off a cliff to save the entire human race?" I'm good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Let it die.
So if Hitler could you kill Hitler as a baby?
Do what now?
Could you kill Hitler if you knew Hitler was a baby, and you knew you were stopping Hitler? Could you kill the baby?
No, because there was many other solutions to avoiding that problem than killing a child.
Right, and especially if you go back in time, you're just the a-hole killing babies.
Yeah.
Like, that's not a good look.
It's just a question I hear all the time. If you could stop Hitler when he was a baby.
Why does it have to be a baby, though? If I have a time machine, why don't I go to while he's like in World War I and just pull a pin out of his grenade while he's in a trench?
Less interesting.
Or actually, he actually narrowly avoided being killed in a foxhole because he had to go take a leak. I would just
go to that point.
Go to that point and just be like, and 10 minutes early say, "Hey, you should probably go take a leak."
Well, and then you start creating branch realities,
Yeah.
and so the Nazis are running the galaxy in one of
And then
them.
you come back to the future. Next thing you know, the communists are running the U.S. and like,
well,
what
here
did
we
I
are.
do? I said the communists are running the U.S. like it's not happening right now.
Here we are.
Good old Uncle Joe. Let's go to Sam. Hey, Sam.
Oh. Hey, thanks for taking my call. Oh, dang it. Thanks for taking my call, gentlemen.
Hey, Sammy.
Y'all beat me to the cannibalism. That's what I was going to bring up. Is we're talking about the last meals. I got a feeling that that Joey would enjoy some long pork. You ever heard, Craig? You ever heard that term?
Say that again. I missed it.
Long pork. Long pork. I'm referencing a story from Seattle when the U.S. Army had to invade Seattle. They were shanghaiing too many people for their fishing industry, and I forget the date. I think it was around 1900, or it might have been before that. but it'd gotten so bad about ships going out for fishing and the crew having to cannibalize themselves because they wouldn't take enough food. But it got to a bad enough problem where the U.S. Army had to go into Seattle and seize control and put a stop to it. It's amazing. Yeah, man, people and greed, things can get out of hand quick. That wasn't the vibe I was hoping to bring, but there it is.
But you brought it.
Thank you, Mr. Lecter.
Well, here you go. This put a smile on my face. I've been cutting. I don't eat cereal anymore because I've just, but I've got my blood sugar under control. So there's some good news.
Good deal.
But here you go. I get the sugar-free Hershey syrup and I put it on my ice cream.
Yep.
And I might sprinkle it with a few M&Ms and stuff, but I still get the sugar-free, and to me that's funny as hell. But it tastes great. So. What's
going on with your blood sugar? What, is it in range now?
All right. Basically, I years ago I just let the depression get the best out of me. I started drinking every day.
Yeah, that'll do it.
And and last summer quit that, and I still occasionally will have one, but no. Anyway, the point of it is, I'm a lot healthier now. I'm a different person than I was a year ago.
Oh, definitely.
Crazy as hell, but I'm doing a lot better, bro.
Good.
And it basically that was it. It was cutting off the carbs before they killed me, and all that. You know what I'm saying? It was. I had to step up to the plate, man up.
Yeah.
Man.
Incorporate a lot of cinnamon into your diet. That'll help with your insulin sensitivity. Take it from personal experience. And if that doesn't work, ask your doctor about getting on some metformin. Then you can absolutely you can absolutely enjoy more carbs.
Well, here's the deal, bro.
Yeah.
I was on 2,000 milligrams, 2 grams of metformin a day.
Ooh,
no, it was 2,000. Yeah, it's 2,000. And I'm down to 1 now. And even then, I'm having to balance out because I can feel it. Like today, I've taken it too many days this week.
Yeah.
And it hypes me up. But Craig, here you go. Anybody listening, I swear by this. The hyperbaric chamber. I was having all kind of health issues. I spent 2 months in the tank, 2 hours a day, maximum oxygen pressure, and it did more to help heal me up than anything else.
Were you anemic before that?
I was having trouble.
Okay.
I was having a lot of trouble, but I'm just saying, man. I'm healthier now than I've been in years, and
Good job.
It's like a gift that I'm trying to improve. But there was something goofy. I don't know. It was nice to hear it from her.
You were talking about food until we got distracted by your health.
Yeah,
my apologies.
That's all right. Anyways, guys, look, it's my furry weekend. My furry club meets tomorrow.
Oh goodness
And so I'm going in the I'm going in the parlor over. I got to get cleaned up and a haircut.
I saw that on Twitter today. Furries freaking freak me out, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I dropped that
seriously.
I dropped that on Scott Beeson yesterday. And invited him to the club. Man. We're all into air conditioning. That's my statement on that.
Well, I appreciate it, Sam. Really do.
Yeah. Good job, buddy. By the way, seriously.
Thank y'all for a great show, guys.
Hey, no problem. See you, Sammy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somewhat not literally dressing up in a furry outfit.
Yeah.
But the idea of being able to go around, say, in a public place and have a mask, like nobody can know it's you. I understand that. Like it is empowering to people that are incredibly socially awkward and all that stuff. But then when you see what you've chosen to cover, here's my new identity. I'm like, it's creepy.
It's happening at Prattville Middle School, for God's sake.
It is?
Yeah, there's furry kids at Prattville Middle School. It's the worst kept
They're
secret
wearing
in
the
Prattville.
full-on, mask?
I've heard, mask, collars, leashes. I've heard rumors of litter boxes, but the school administration didn't answer those questions when I asked them. It's insanity. We have spent a generation at this point coddling people that need help and telling them that they're normal.
And for folks who are wondering, that focus group that DNC did on why people don't like Kamala Harris, the main answer that came back was her laugh.
Yeah, I don't buy that though, because Tucker Carlson has the most annoying laugh on planet Earth.
Right.
And people still seem to love him. I think the problem with her and the difference between her and Tucker is that she is a bona fide idiot. She's a dummy. Like she's about as smart as a bucket of shrimp.
Yep.
Well, and others in the focus group question whether Biden even likes her.
And her mom doesn't like her. Nobody likes her. She's the most unlikable human being I've ever seen in public life.
Her numbers are always in the 30s. And also, they've been farming out the worst issues for her to go and talk on, and the border secure. Like, do not come. Do not come. Y'all know the rest.
Oh, yeah, of course I know the rest.
Yeah.
But the problem with her is it's not that she's just stupid, because it is that, but a stupid person can appear intelligent with a little bit of prep.
Sure.
And I see this, sorry for anyone listening, I see this with so many lawmakers in Montgomery, where it's like you're presenting an issue and you know nothing about what you're talking about. You haven't even done a cursory Google search before you got up there in front of the entire state to defend a premise against antagonists, and you haven't done a lick of research.
Well, and that works for me here on talk radio because, it's a shtick, folks. Like, we're having fun here. I'm not, but if I had to present, say, a bill with antagonists across from me, I did that during youth legislature.
Yeah, but the
it's
problem
a lot
is,
of fun.
but the difference between you and them is you have a certain level of copiousness, whereas you can talk about,
I like that.
There's not a subject about which you couldn't at least have a somewhat of a conversation. You don't have to be an expert. Even just because you're curious, you can have a conversation about anything.
Can I use that in a promo if we start doing like online promos?
Yes,
like
women.
That Joey Clark, he's got a certain amount of copiousness.
Yeah, copiousness. It's just when you have command over either one or many subjects, whether it's politics or music or whatever, you can kind of just talk about it. Right. These people, lawmakers, state and federal, for the most part, they're not very interesting people. The reason they're in their position is because they have personalities that get them done. Now, there's a few people that are sharp are very, very sharp, but for the most part, not so much. It's like none of them that you'd really see yourself catching a beer with.
Well, here's the deal. We have to hit a quick break. We'll come back to Eric and Roger right after this.
Roger.
Again, Friday free for all. Go wherever you like, folks, on the phone call.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
The Ridge Thomas Weather Network is brought to you by Alabama's personal injury attorney, me, Johnny Adams of the Johnny Adams Law Firm. Stay weather alert, everyone.
Hi, everybody. The weather news continues very good. Beautiful forecast right on through the weekend. For today, a nice warm day, high 86, mostly sunny. Very mild overnight tonight. Periods of clouds at times. Overnight low 64. Tomorrow and Sunday, a great weekend forecast. Lots of sunshine mixed in with some high clouds. Nice warm mid-80s here. 70s on the coast. 60s at night. Still dry and warm Monday with a high around 86. Good bit of sunshine with the risk of widely scattered storms holding off till Tuesday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
At ASE Credit Union, financing your next adventure is easier than ever with rates as low as 5.25%. Apply online or visit your local branch today. Federally insured by the NCUA, Equal Opportunity Lender.
ASE Credit Union, your life, your goals, ASE.
For over 40 years, Headley Plumbing has been fixing the River Region's plumbing problems with fast, affordable service. The pros at Headley are ready to respond anytime you need help, and they charge fair rates for their expert service. They help River Region homes and businesses every day, from repairing leaky faucets, septic tank service, replacing damaged sewer lines, or just unstopping a blocked drain. Trust the experts at Headley Plumbing. Call 285-3667. Headley Plumbing, 285-3667. Remember Headley's motto, in our business, a flush beats a full house.
Headley Metal Buildings has been your source for quality metal buildings in the River Region since 2007. Carports up to 24 feet wide, RV covers, storage buildings, even a sturdy metal barn up to 54 feet wide. Your structure can be customized, installed on level ground, and comes with a 20-year warranty. Let Headley Metal Buildings help you find the perfect solution. Financing available. Call 285-3667 for details or find Headley Metal Buildings on Facebook.
In Alabama, more than 200,000 of our family members and friends are living without health coverage. Often folks can't stay healthy enough to keep their jobs. We need to fix this. It's time for us to find a way to close the health care coverage gap so that folks can remain in their jobs. Where there's a priority out there, we as Alabamians have always found a way to achieve it. Contact Governor Kay Ivey and let her know. Now is the time to close the coverage gap and cover Alabama.
Paid for by the American Cancer Society Cancer Action Network.
Gigi's Cupcakes, over 13 years in the River Region, has moved to Pepper Tree Shopping Center inside Chappie's Deli Pepper Tree. Enjoy your favorite treats, cupcakes, mini cupcakes, macarons, and cheesecakes. See you at Gigi's and Pepper Tree.
The River Region's News Talk Station. News Talk 93.1, WACV. News Talk 93.1.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the Afternoon. I'm Joey. In the studio with me, we have Eddie Bader and Craig Munger. And we're talking all sorts of things today. In a second, we're going to have actually the sponsor of that bill that's they're trying to advance through the legislature. Her name is Malia Stevens, and she's helping to push through this bill that would essentially put the filter on the phone so kids can't look at the porn. We'll talk to her after the 1 o'clock hour. But first, we got a bunch of calls here. Let's go to Eric. Hey, Eric.
Hey, Joe. Good afternoon, my buddy. Hey, man, you do a phenomenal job. You can't fix stupid. You know, when you got people like that run around with stuff over their face, I mean, there's no, you know, it is what it is. But I saw a deal the other day. I don't remember the reporter. It was not on Fox, Newsmax, or anything like that. But he had 10 random people on the street. It was not New York. I want to say Charlotte, but and they were all here illegal. Now, this is no crap. But
Hey,
anyway,
Eric, can you take your keys out of your ignition, please?
The beeping is driving us nuts.
No, I apologize. I've been in the attic, and but anyhow, I said, you know, I watched this, and Joey, and they said, would you be willing to enlist in the United States military? And you know, 8 out of 10 said no.
Yep, we covered that a couple weeks ago. It's astounding number.
Yeah. Here, and you want our benefit. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But regardless, though, I went and carried the photo over there yesterday, I'm sorry, to, I think, what's the guy with Greg in the morning?
Jay?
The big guy.
Jay?
Jay, yeah. He come out. I didn't realize it was a fortress over there, man. I'm like, is this Fort Knox or what?
Yep.
You know?
Right.
Hey, regardless, my prayers is still with Martha, and I hope that Skies, I pray for him and his wife as well, Martha. So, but you know what? I always brag on how you got Napolitano, man. He's one of my favorites.
It's a dream having him on the show every week. It really is a great guy to know. But Eric, I'm running out of time. Got a bunch of calls to roll through, so appreciate it, man.
We listen.
Thanks, sir.
See you, Eric.
Let's go to Roger. Hey, Roger.
Roger.
Hey, Craig. Good morning. How you?
I am doing swell. How are you, Roger?
Are you considered bilingual since nobody understands half of what you say?
Pretty much. I'm like 3/4 bilingual because I know like some Chinese that I completely forgot, and then I use English language diction and vocabulary that most people find to be odious. So.
Odious.
I have a daughter that's a sign language interpreter. She can interpret 3 different languages into ASL. But anyway,
My wife's a sign language interpreter.
Hey, they can be quiet and be definitely quiet all day.
Do you ever ask her, Craig, hey, can we just talk in sign language for the rest of the night?
I know enough for us to communicate from across a room as needed.
Yeah.
And obviously we teach our kids some sign language.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Before they can talk, they know how to sign like potty and food and
Yep.
water and more and thank you.
Grandkids, same way, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got her to teach me several curse words. Was the first ones that interested me. But back to the final meal. Don't talk about common. Talk about food.
Okay.
When we slaughter our cow every year, we harvest the tallow and we render it down to cooking oil.
Mm-hmm.
So I raise an Egyptian quail, and they're very prolific. You can grow them off in about 4 or 5 weeks. They're about 1.5 pounds too. And you butterfly them and fry them in the beef tallow cooking oil. Ooh. Definitely my last meal. Definitely.
That sounds amazing. Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, quail's good eating.
Especially with the beef tallow. That's
yeah,
awesome.
those Egyptians, they'll lay every day, and you can hatch them out. And we don't buy poultry anymore. You know, the chicken houses takes a little bitty chick, and in 38 days it weighs 5 pounds. So what do they feed them? And
Apparently,
we wonder
same thing
why
me and Joey are eating.
That's why you have breast. Maybe that and the Bud Light or the Bush Light that you're still drinking into transgenderism.
Nah, not yet. Not yet.
I don't think you would do well as a woman, Eddie.
No, I'd make a very ugly woman.
Well, so do most of the men that pretend to be women. So
that's a very good point. I've very seldom seen an attractive man lady,
and even the ones that people like tout as the models. I'm like, show me what they look like first thing in the morning after like 3 days of not shaving and going through what I'm sure is a ridiculously complicated beautification process.
Good Lord.
Oh, they would definitely be the antidote to Viagra. All you'd have to do is show them a picture of that. That more than 12-hour thing would go away immediately.
Well, I appreciate the call, Roger.
Thanks, Roger.
And we only got about a minute here, but Debbie, how you doing?
Hi, I'm doing good. Well, except I'm I'm very disturbed. I read an article where they are now making our beefsteaks through stem cell process and coloring the meat to make it look right. Yeah.
Well, the House of Representatives in Alabama just passed a Senate bill to ban that in Alabama. So I think you might be safe.
No, it can't be done here? Can't be sold here?
No, I think it can't be done here. Actually, it can be done here for like research purposes, like NASA and other things.
I think they took it off the shelf, so too, right?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
The lab-grown meat. No moss on the lab-grown meat.
Nice.
Okay, so no cloning either, right?
I believe that's included as well. The bill's not in front of me, but I think you're right.
Okay, because I know they started with the fish and then they went to the pigs. They had mighty impressive haunches, I got to agree, but I want my meat to be meat, real meat, not some kind of weird scientific
So you like
experiment.
haunches that are real, not augmented.
Oh, please.
Well, I appreciate the call, Debbie.
Thank you, Debbie.
Thank you.
It's funny, as she's saying she likes her meat, real meat, I look over at Craig and he's doing the whole chest flex there. Kind of threw me off.
Sometimes they have a mind of their own. No, they
we need to hook
really
up.
were cramping, and so I kind of had to stretch.
No, we
it
need to
out.
do what they do with Terry Crews, where they hook up like a drum machine contacts to each of his muscles that he flexes.
I can do it. But when I do it with my posterior, it's something to behold.
I can do it too. Y'all just can't see it. But it's happening right now. Y'all just can't even see it.
I'm clinching. And on that disturbing note, we'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. A measure of inflation closely tracked by the Federal Reserve remained high in March, likely reinforcing the Fed's reluctance to cut interest rates anytime soon. Prices rose 0.3% from February to March, the same as in the previous month. The third straight month that the index has run at a pace faster than is consistent with the Fed's 2% inflation target. ExxonMobil's profit declined in its first quarter as natural gas prices fell and industry refining margins dropped. The energy company earned $8.22 billion, or $2.06 per share, for the first 3 months that ended March 31st. A year earlier, Exxon earned $11.43 billion. Stocks remain higher. The Dow is ahead 216 points. The NASDAQ adding 361. This is SRN News.
Donald Trump's indictment proves that saving America is not going to be easy. There are entrenched powers that are fighting this with everything they've got. They want to keep control over the country, the narrative, and the nation's money supply. Hi, I'm Lance Wallnau. I'm a news analyst, a Christian author, an evangelical leader. I speak to millions of people every week, people just like you. You see, what the elites are doing is using inflation and government handouts and now central bank digital currencies to determine how they're going to control America. And that's why I recommend all Christians start a gold IRA from the Birch Gold Group, because physical precious metals are one of the few ways you can maintain control over your own savings. To get a free info kit on gold IRAs, text the word FAITH to 989898. Birch Gold Group is the only gold company I trust. Get their free info kit and you'll see why a gold IRA can help you. There are no strings attached. Text the word FAITH to 989898 and you're going to be blessed by taking action right now.
Rich Thomas Weather, brought to you by Clark Heating, Air, and Plumbing. It's time to get your cooling system ready for the long, hot summer. Call today about the advantages of the Clark Club membership to be sure you're covered. Call 277-2125. Better call Clark. Alabama certification number 09098.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Hi, everybody. The weather news continues very good. Beautiful forecast right on through the weekend. For today, a nice warm day, high 86, mostly sunny. Very mild overnight tonight. Periods of clouds at times. Overnight low 64. Tomorrow and Sunday, a great weekend forecast. Lots of sunshine mixed in with some high clouds. Nice warm mid-80s here. 70s on the coast. 60s at night. Still dry and warm Monday with a high around 86. Good bit of sunshine with the risk of widely scattered storms holding off till Tuesday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Web Bobo with Capital Tractor. The Z700 series is the star of Kubota's line of zero-turn mowers, and our special spring pricing makes it easier than ever to take one home today. Powering Alabama, Kubota and Capital Tractor, Montgomery, Brundage, and Greenville.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, here's today's top stories. Montgomery Mayor Stephen Reed will be sworn in as president of the African American Mayors Association today. Reed currently serves as the organization's vice president. The mayor described his elevation to the new position as both an honor and a challenge. The ADOC has arrested a Kilby Correctional Facility prison guard. 45-year-old Tyree Lynette Hoyle is charged with using her position for personal gain and attempting to distribute drugs. Court filings indicate Hoyle accepted a Cash App payment, then attempted to deliver drugs and a cell phone to an inmate. The Alabama House passed HB 385, the Supplying Minors bill, on Thursday. The bill would remove exceptions for public libraries from obscenity laws and subject them to prosecution for providing sexual material to minors. The bill now goes to the Alabama Senate. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
I'm with Miss Dot at the Eastbrook Flea Market and Antique Mall. Dot, spring is already here.
Oh, I'm so glad too. I'm tired of being cold. With spring, we're starting to bring out the wicker furniture. We are getting in the iron outdoor furniture and just a lot of things that's just going to brighten your day.
Now, if somebody needs some furniture for their home, you have a good selection, don't you?
If there's any furniture that you can't find anywhere else, come to Eastbrook because we have a wonderful selection of solid, good, heavy furniture at excellent prices. Actually, better than you're going to find anywhere else. Just come see us and walk around all 3 floors and let's help you out to fill up those living rooms and dining rooms and bedrooms, but we've got it all.
Do you have any booth space available at this time?
I have booth space available, so come see us.
All right, give us those hours of operation.
Monday through Friday is 10 until 6. Saturday is 9 until 6, and Sunday 12:30 to 4:30.
Eastbrook Flea Market and Antique Mall, 425 Coliseum Boulevard.
The Health and Wealth Show. The Health and Wealth Show. The show so nice, we said it twice. Weekday evenings at 6 on News Talk 93.1 WACV. The Health.
Break it up, son. Joke's over, hey?
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
After damning politicians uphill and down dale for many years as rogues, vagabonds, frauds, and scoundrels, I sometimes suspected, like everyone else, I often expect too much of them.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Second hour of news and views on a Friday. Now, this person, or thank you to Becky Garrettson for reaching out. We now have on the phone here Malia Stevens. She's a family therapist with Wellspring Christian Clinic in Birmingham, board member with the National Center on Sexual Exploitation there in Washington, D.C. Malia, welcome to the show. How are you doing this afternoon?
Hey, I'm great, Joey. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being on. So we've talked about this particular bill about having the filter, a porn filter just comes stock from the manufacturer. Give us the latest on where this is within the Alabama legislature.
Right. So we're talking about HB 167, the Children's Device Protection Bill. We passed 98-0 in the House a few weeks ago, but it's been lagging in the Senate due to pressure from some special interest groups that really don't want to lose access to our children on commonly used devices, which is pretty concerning. But we've got a lot of pressure there, so we're hoping to get it through the Financial Responsibility and Economic Development Committee. We had a hearing this Wednesday, which was pretty intense but good, and they delayed the vote until next Wednesday. So I hope we'll have time to get it to the floor and see it pass. We know we've got the votes for it to pass if we can just get it on the floor of the Senate, and because this is what happened last year. It had strong bipartisan support. It made it all the way up until the last vote, and it was not permitted to be on the calendar.
So who are these groups pushing back? Because I'll tell you, Malia, I consider myself pretty libertarian. So we could probably have a very long conversation about obscenity laws when it comes to adults and all the morality of that. But to me, it is not even a question that this is an obvious good way to go about protecting kids from this sort of vulgarity and smut.
Yeah, it's a pretty simple, straightforward request that existing filters that already are on all these devices, and they actually work really well, that they would just be a software update that they're activated on for smartphones and tablets. That's the most commonly used device for young kids, and that's where we know, according to research, that they tend to have accidental exposure to pornography. But the people who push back ultimately are the pornography industry and big tech. Big tech and the pornography industry often work arm in arm in different ways to thwart these types of efforts. And big tech doesn't want to lose data collection. And then the pornography industry really does want to hook our kids as early as possible. It sounds extremely sinister, and unfortunately that is the truth of how they operate. So that is who tends to be pushing the hardest, but they come behind other organizations, and because we have some big tech corporations that are now in Alabama, they seem to be working through the BCA, and this most recent hearing, they looped in the Commerce Department, which was a first, because we've been through several hearings, and we're used to telecommunications companies being a front for these other entities, but they weren't there this time. It was the BCA and Commerce Department.
Well, that's awful to hear, because this, again, should be an obvious law. There's a reason, I'll put it this way, that it passed 98-0 in the House.
Right.
This seems pretty obvious to me. So what do you think the chances are, given these forces trying to keep this off the law books here in Alabama?
Well, it depends on if our Senate leadership listens to the pressure from the BCA or if they listen to citizens, because we have hundreds, if not thousands, of families and parents from across the state, bipartisan, calling in, emailing. They keep up with me. I get floods of text every day. Where are we? What's happening? And they call into the offices of the senators and things like that. But they're hearing from citizens, but they're feeling the pressure from the BCA, which is very concerning, because I don't think these voices really represent the true small business leaders of Alabama. I think it's really just these big gorilla-sized entities that are throwing their weight around. And it's influencing and shaping our culture. It's sad. This bill actually passed unanimously in Utah a few weeks ago, so they're going to have to enact this in Utah. We know these companies can do this. It's just, who are they going to prioritize, children or profit from companies?
Well, and I've always thought of, say, obscenity online, and the worst things people can possibly imagine seem to me be more a technological matter. And that's why when I saw this bill, it made a lot of sense that it's a sort of cat and mouse game in terms of technology. And to know that these companies do have the tech to protect kids and yet are just refusing to put this stock and put this in place. You used the word earlier, sinister. And what can folks do if they're hearing this conversation? Who should the people here in Alabama call?
They should call Senator Greg Reed, who's the president pro tem of the Senate, who sets the calendar, as well as Jabba Wagner sets the calendar. That will be the final step for it to get to the floor, to make their voices heard that they want to see this pass. And they could also, if they're connected to the Business Council of Alabama, and they disagree with the Business Council taking this position, it would be fantastic if they could make their voices heard with the Business Council to say this is not how we want to see things run in Alabama.
Well, and before I let you go, tell me a little bit more about, in particular, what you're doing there at the National Center on Sexual Exploitation and about that center there, what y'all are trying to accomplish around the nation.
Certainly. So the National Center on Sexual Exploitation has been around for a while. We fight all forms of sexual exploitation, from illegal pornography to sex trafficking and everything in between. It tends to be one big industry in terms of the way they interact and feed each other. And I got involved because as a family therapist who really specializes with adults, I was seeing children who were addicted to pornography coming from really strong families in Alabama, but after just a few exposures, it had hijacked the frontal lobe of their brain. They were acting out sexually on other kids, and I was waking up to the impact that it has on the developing brain of a child. At the same time, I was working with sex trafficking survivors, 2 of whom had been forced to create pornography. So I started becoming involved in raising awareness and became a part of on the board for now since 2013. And they have the National Center on Sexual Exploitation is really like the tip of the spear in terms of a global movement. And we fight the social media companies where I don't know if you saw the U.S. Senate hearing a few weeks ago where senators grilled the CEOs of social media companies about the fact that they were profiting off of child sexual abuse and pedophilia rings and things of that nature. That was our group was a large part of pulling that together and getting survivors there. We fight illegal pornography, and really our Department of Justice, if they enforced existing federal obscenity laws, you would not have hardcore pornography on the internet. You wouldn't have it even produced in the United States because it's not protected free speech. But because we don't have a good Department of Justice in operation right now, we're having, or at least people who are willing to do that work. We have to do this at the state level, so we're doing a lot of state level legislative efforts, and then we do a lot of things to help victims of sex trafficking. We have a law center. There's just so much. People are welcome to go to our website, which is endsexualexploitation.org, and we'd love for them to get involved and help us out.
Well, I appreciate your time, and it's I believe in liberty fully, but I also I think it has to go hand in hand with liberty. What is moral? What is actually good for people? And I mean, what are your thoughts on seeing this? It seems we've gone very wrong with the sexual revolution, number one, that came out during the 60s, and for all sorts of reasons. And like, for instance, Harvey Weinstein was in the news again, and you see more and more of those stories, especially in the high ends of industry, especially the entertainment industry. But what about this trend of young women who are, and it's young men too, but who are jumping onto things like OnlyFans, where you're almost seeing social media become explicitly about exposing yourself online?
Yes. Well, that's unfortunately what we're going to have more and more as a result of kids being raised on today's mainstream pornography, which is graphic. It's rape-themed, child incest-themed, racist-themed material. They're getting inundated with it. It is setting up this normalization of very deviant behavior and very exploitative behavior, and it's really socializing them to think this is normal. They don't understand what healthy intimacy is because we're giving them sex miseducation through this illegal material. And that's why you see, I don't know if you've noticed in the news, there's a lot more, this is what I think, this is my personal opinion, and not necessarily a National Center, but I don't know if you've seen where a lot of the teachers, female teachers, are raping or, and sexually violating young boys. I don't know if you've seen that in the news a lot more.
Yes.
And people are like, what is this about? And I know from perhaps working with some of these types of people on occasion that a lot of that does have to go back to pornography, because you're consuming child-themed pornography, and it sets up this pedophilic interest and fetish. And so we're going to have more and more of deterioration of our society. We don't get a handle on this, and I think it's unfortunate that most people think that hardcore pornography is just a normal form of entertainment, but the laws on the books say that it's not protected speech. Only softcore porn is protected speech, and it's really only supposed to be available in restricted adult bookstores and adult-oriented businesses that are legal. And that used to be the case up until a few years ago, well, really about 15 to 20 years ago, when the DOJ stopped doing their job. But so now we've got normalization of all these things that are so destructive to our brain, our relationships, and society at large.
Is it just a matter that the DOJ dropped the ball here, or was there a Supreme Court case that's holding precedent right now? Like, how did this come about?
No. So what happened was we used to have a very robust obscenity section in the DOJ under Reagan and Bush Sr. And some work prior to that, and we were very effective at keeping the pornographers at bay, where they were not allowed to just do whatever they wanted. And then when John Ashcroft was the Attorney General, he decided to take his hand off the obscenity section and turn to other things, and he was overtly warned, if you do this, obscenity is going to explode. You can't let that department grow weak, but he didn't listen, didn't heed that advice, and so after him, there was a weakening of that enforcement, and then which got weaker under Clinton and George W. Bush, and then with Obama, when he got into office, Eric Holder in the first couple of weeks dismantled the obscenity section of the DOJ.
Thank you for all this information, but so under obscenity, is it just sexual stuff, or does it also include other forms of obscenity?
I think it includes other forms of obscenity too, as far as behavior and like maybe lewd and lascivious. I'm not the legal expert on that. Sure. I'm more so on understanding the definitions of what constitutes obscenity as far as hardcore pornography. But
well, how do they make that distinction?
There's actually obscenity is a legal term, and it refers, typically what it would refer to is any softcore porn is anything kind of waist-up porn that you think of from the old, Playboys of the magazines of the 60s and 70s, things like that, which is bad enough, but that's softcore porn, which is permitted in certain spaces. But hardcore pornography is anything that elicits a certain sexual response, and that is basically showing sexual acts, showing genitalia, and anything beyond that is considered hardcore pornography. And because I'm unfortunately so familiar with how this industry operates, so much of what you see in hardcore pornography, the people that are in it are not there willingly. They may look like they are there by choice. Even with some of the OnlyFans cases, we found out now that a lot of them have been exploited. They were forced to do what they do. They didn't keep the money, and it wasn't really them pulling the strings. And so it's really a big industry of exploitation. But yeah, so that's kind of the distinction. There's a community standard that a jury would decide. So for example, if we wanted to, if someone was selling pornographic material in their store or something where kids could access it, and we wanted to take them to court, and we could hold it up before a jury and say, does this fit this particular definition? There's a legal definition of obscenity. And then the jury could say, yes, that fits the definition. And that's kind of how you enforce the law.
Okay, so there is some play in the joints there, and that does make sense. That makes sense. Well, I really do appreciate all the information you've given us in this conversation, and also telling us about this law here in Alabama. And I would encourage folks to go call Pro Tem Reed's office, and let's make sure this is on the calendar in these last few days of the session.
Thank you so much, Joey. I appreciate your support, and yeah, anything they can do for it with Senator Reed and with the BCA, just to let them know the families really in Alabama do care about the kids and want to see them protected. That'd be great.
Well, thank you, Malia. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
272-9228 if you want to get in on the program. It's 272-9228. And I did appreciate that conversation, because my instinct is obscenity laws give license to certain people in the government to go after all sorts of things they would call lewd and obscene. But I cannot deny my eyes and my brain when I see where the culture has gone.
Right.
Yeah.
And so you're like, well, it's at least let's have more conversations. It's one podcast I usually cannot stand, but I have gone down the rabbit hole sometimes. It's that Whatever podcast, where the guy, usually it's a very conservative guy, and they'll have somebody like Charlie Kirk or Michael Knowles on there with the main host. And then it's usually a bunch of OnlyFans girls.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I've seen that.
Yeah.
I've seen a couple of those.
And those conversations are kind of eye-opening, because you'll see somebody who's like a porn star doing OnlyFans, and as soon as they're just asked basic questions by, say, folks who have matured into their 30s, you can tell, oh, this is an 18-year-old kid.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's eye-opening. folks. And I'm not necessarily saying go watch all 4 hours of one of these shows.
but
It's kind of cringeworthy.
It's really evident.
Yeah. It was like the worst thing back in the day. The worst thing you could do was get a tattoo when you're 18. Now it's like you can have pictures of your lower extremities and all sorts of fashions posted on the internet for the rest of your life. Like that's a tattoo that really doesn't go away.
Right. So, well, we'll see. That conversation ain't going anywhere anytime soon. But how about this? Let's hit a break. But first, this part of the program brought to you by River Region Contracting. You know, when you got a home, what's the most important thing in that? Well, foundation's pretty important.
Pretty important.
But how about the thing on top?
Keeping the rain out. How
your
about
roof?
that?
Yeah. Keeps it actually sealed up.
Keep the weather out, man.
So whether you have an asphalt or metal roof, and I learned this from River Region Contracting, you should get preventative maintenance done every few years. But Eddie and I have been suggesting, do it every year?
Yeah.
Do it on an annual basis.
Well, you got great folks that are willing to do it for free. Why wouldn't you do it? And you can trust them. And when they give you an estimate, it's an honest estimate, and it's been accurate every time I've used it.
Well, now the work costs something at the end of the day, but the inspection
is free, 100%.
So you might as well get the inspection done annually. And then the estimate, if they do find a problem, is free.
Yep.
And then they're also insurance specialists, right?
100%. They've helped out 3 or 4 of my clients off the top of my head.
And you've used them personally, too.
I use them every time.
And they're awesome over there at River Region Contracting. There's a reason many call them the premier roofing contractor in this area. So call Todd Clark and his team today, 356-8635. That's 356-8635. And be sure to tell them that, Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you.
He may not know whether he's coming or going. But whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Fresh deals, fresh inventory. Spring savings have sprung at Toyota of Montgomery. And we have a fresh new inventory of the new Toyotas you've been looking for. Take that spring trip in style, comfort, safety, and peace of mind in our huge selection of trucks, SUVs, and sedans. Drive the new 2024 Camry LE and lease for $299 a month, or get low 3.99% APR financing. Spring out of your old car and into a new Toyota and get up to $2,000 over book value for your trade. Or check out our fresh new inventory of certified pre-owned Toyotas that look, drive, and even smell brand new. Just don't wait. Spring offers end soon at Toyota of Montgomery. Online at toyotamontgomery.com. Part of the Sutherland Automotive Group. 3.99% APR financing for 36 months is $29.53 for 1,000 finance. MSRP $30,958. 12,000 miles per year for 36 months with $36.38 due at finance. $0 security deposit with approved credit. Excessive wear, tear, and mileage may affect trade value. Plus tax, tag, title, and $995 document. Expires 4/30/24. Come see how you can drive a new Lexus from Lexus of Montgomery today. Drive the new 2024 Lexus ES350, now only $353 a month. Or choose the new 2023 Lexus RZ450E for only $399 a month. You can drive a new Lexus today. Visit Lexus of Montgomery, part of the Sutherland Automotive Group.
VIN number RU177074, $4,995 to its signing. VIN number PPP02044, $3,700 to its signing. 36 months, 10K mile lease with approved credit plus tax, tag, title, doc fee.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
Live local talk. The River Region's only 24-hour News Talk FM station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. The news and views on a Friday. Sorry to get so serious there, but it's a very real topic that is, the clock is ticking here in Alabama on getting that law implemented. And I think it's a pretty common sense one, though. Did you see this story? I've got it pulled up on the screen in front of you, Craig. The black athletic director arrested for using AI audio to frame white principal with racist rant.
Oh.
Yeah, like I saw this morning, and now what we'll do here, folks. Eddie, did you see this?
No, I did not.
That this black athletic director used AI voice cloning to frame a white principal, having him voice essentially an AI created racist rant to get the guy fired.
Dude.
So apparently, I haven't listened to this thing in full. If it's really, really bad, we'll obviously have to dump out of it.
It's not the B. I think they probably have it censored.
Right. So let's listen into some of this. I think the audio is right here at, well, says language, not graphic language, not obscene language, just language. What kind of warning is that? Anyway, this is Baltimore County Public Schools. They're investigating the principal at Pikesville High for alleged derogatory remarks about students and staff. A voice believed to be the principal could be heard ranting about black students and Jewish families. Turns out, folks, this audio we're about to play, the way it was characterized, this is all fake. This is AI created.
You know, I seriously don't understand why I have to constantly put up with these dumbasses here every day. Between these ungrateful black kids who can't test their way out of a paper bag, or these teachers who don't get it, how hard is it to get these students to meet their grade level expectations? Lawrence and Ravenel should have never been hired. And don't let me get started on DJ. I'm going to drag his black ass out of here one way or another.
Wow. That's pretty intense.
That is. That, and it sounds like if you would have given me that, not told me anything about the backstory, I'd have been like, ooh, that guy's in trouble. I wouldn't have thought AI ever at all.
Well, yeah, if I had heard that, I'd be like, yeah, fire him. Like, if he said that, fire him.
Oh, my God.
But
So how did they prove it?
The police investigated, apparently, and found that this was AI generated.
Because, we were talking about that as far as the face swaps coming up. That was going to be a big thing. Because soon you're not going to be able to believe what you see. But I didn't even consider the voice.
Wow.
Well, so, of course, all sorts of people, former students, are coming out saying he should be fired, but it was all fake. Turns out that the former athletic director, who is black, has been arrested now.
Man, that is, wow.
Baltimore County Police arrested him Thursday morning, charged him with using AI to impersonate the principal. Wow. Dazhan Darian, who's 31, apprehended as he attempted to board a flight.
I bet.
So you got to watch out, folks. Like, this is, we were thinking high stakes stuff, like high stakes political races.
Yeah.
But it could happen every day now.
What about that principal? If you're like, dude, it wasn't me.
Right.
Yeah. No, this is you. This is your voice.
And Joey, you're screwed, man.
I know.
With the amount of audio of you
everything.
that's out there,
Right.
they could make you
Actually,
say
it's a way for me to commit a perfect crime. You know how to do that? You can either like, you kill somebody you don't know and you don't tell anybody else you did it. A lot of people get away with that.
Yeah.
But the other way to do the perfect crime is you do it in a place that's so polluted by evidence. So everybody's fingerprints are on it.
Yeah.
So you throw so much junk out there. And I actually think that's where perfect crimes are going.
Yeah.
That people are going to just throw out so much BS. Governments do this.
Yeah.
Like conspiracy theory stuff, a lot of that's probably
Throw that
produced
down
by
out
the
there.
agency
Yeah.
and whatnot. I think that's exactly where we're going.
It's like that movie The Town, whenever they finish robbing a bank and they went and got hair. They swept up the hair from a bunch of different barbershops and they just threw it all over the getaway car. So it's like, hey, find whatever DNA you want.
Good luck.
So he hasn't been working there, the principal, ever since this was put out there.
Man.
It's unclear if he was suspended with or without pay. But from
pay, I bet.
J Moore, a Jewish outlet in Baltimore, last March, AI experts told the Banner that the audio was mostly likely fake, citing its flat quality and lack of consistent breathing sounds. From the beginning of this incident, the recording seemed odd and suspicious. The executive director of the Baltimore Jewish Council said, this was why his agency held off on issuing any initial comment. Well, good on them.
Good on them, yeah. Man.
So here's more details on this criminal genius's attempt to commit cyber crime. During an interview with detectives, Darian admitted to having issues with the principal since he was employed. Darian also confessed to sending the recording from his work email to someone he shouldn't have, but denied knowing a TJ Faust or having any further involvement in creating or disseminating the clip. However, police found Darian's phone number listed as the recovery contact for TJ Faust's account. So no criminal genius by any means.
No, not at all.
School tech staff also noticed Darian used their network on 3 separate occasions to search the internet for open AI tools. Okay, well, there you go.
It's kind of like when the husband or the wife one of them goes missing, and they go back and they look at the husband or wife's bank records, and they went to Home Depot, they bought trash bags, they bought duct tape, they bought zip ties. Yeah,
right.
Why did you need 3 shovels and 400 pounds of lye?
Right. Got a garden?
Why do you got pigs in your backyard? But Scott,
feed them to pigs.
But
they will go through bone like butter. Hence the term as greedy as a pig.
Man,
sorry.
Guy Ritchie's really gone downhill since
those
days.
So he
It's
needs to go
sad.
back to where he came from. He's trying to do this artsy stuff in real life. It just doesn't work.
Because those are first movie, like Snatch,
Lock, Stock.
Yeah,
I don't
so
you guys
good.
have Netflix. I watched The Gentleman, the Guy Ritchie
Yeah.
production deal. That was
It
really
was good.
It was all right.
Really
The Gentleman
better
was
than
all
I
right.
thought.
I didn't see the show, but I did see the film,
Yeah.
and
Oh, I
the
didn't see
film
the
was
film.
all right. The movie was good. Got Matthew McConaughey, Colin Farrell, and all that.
Oh, I checked that
but
out.
when he did Aladdin, that was a turd.
Yes.
And then he did that movie, that Jake Gyllenhaal movie about the guy going back to get his buddy from Afghanistan, which is a good story. It's just, it'd be like Quentin Tarantino trying to make like I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry. It just doesn't work.
And didn't he try to do like a King Arthur remake?
Oh, that
or
was
something?
garbage.
Just
Garbage.
Yeah. Yeah, feed that to a pig.
Yeah, when he tried, like, you really found a niche, which was this British. It's almost he was
Gangster.
almost like the British Tarantino. That's
Yes.
what he was.
Yeah.
Right.
And he just got away from it. It's like, dude, stay. Even
Yeah,
if the
stay
girl
true
that
to
got, even if the girl that you came to the dance with is fat, you still got to dance with her.
dance with her.
Well, and didn't he
That's the
also
one
do
that run
the,
you.
the Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes? Yeah, I think he directed that.
Was that him?
I think it
See,
was.
now,
him.
see, those weren't bad.
It was okay, but
The show was infinitely better.
But also this case we were just talking about, the fake racist rant, the Baltimore County State Attorney Scott Schellenberger said this is the first time his office has prosecuted a case related to artificial intelligence, and it's likely the first criminal case in the country. State lawmakers will need to update criminal statutes to include the new technology next legislative session. Hey, Alabama legislature, probably not
Yeah,
going to get
buddy.
it done this time around, but
No,
that's
come up.
amazing. Wow.
I think every state's going to have to deal with
They'll
that
have
of creating a criminal statute for falsely creating a recording. But there's obviously going to have to be something in there for like intent to do harm to someone's, and there's going to be some kinks. There's going to be some gratuitous litigation because there's going to be people that are trying to be funny and they end up getting sued. But it is something that needs to be addressed. You can't just wreck someone's reputation with impunity. You can't do it.
Now, here's another story from Not the Bee that has to do with AI as well. We might as well go into this because it's in the same vein. Catholic ministry launches, quote unquote, Father Justin. AI defrocks him after backlash. What?
Did he not have the proper training?
Here, I'll pull it up on the screen. Would you want to talk to this thing? Introducing Father Justin, the new interactive AI from Catholic Answers. Catholic Answers, the #1 lay Catholic apostolate of apologetics and evangelization, that's a mouthful, is excited to announce the release of our new Father Justin interactive AI app.
Nah, they probably should have softened that up a bit. They really wanted that to fly. They really should have softened that up quite a bit.
Yeah, the innovative digital application employs the latest AI tech to provide users with faithful and educational answers to questions about Catholicism. Seekers may also engage in a back and forth interaction to pursue further information with the 3D AI character. But it kind of didn't work out for folks. They didn't have bad motives. They're just adding an entertaining 3D model to search, engine to help people search for content on their website.
Father Justin, why does the communion wine make me sleepy?
Wait, next you're going to be saying that like 80 million were killed in the Inquisition, all right? Like, I've been hearing that online. I'm like, no, maybe like 4,000 people were killed during the Inquisition. Like, still not great, but the stuff around the Catholic Church, there's a lot of truth. There's a lot of, they've been around for thousands of years.
Yeah.
And they've been run by human beings with a lot of power. So
more public school teachers have been caught having sex with kids than Catholic priests. Just saying.
I do wonder though, what is actually in the Vatican vaults?
Go to the basements, Joey.
Well, I mean, they've known about that for a long time, about the level of homosexuality. They actually have a name for it. It's called the Lavender Mafia.
The Lavender Mafia.
In the Vatican, the Lavender Mafia is fruity priests, and they've been around for centuries.
So,
wow.
It looks like there was a lot of backlash that where people were like, we don't like this thing. It's creeping us out. So here's what Catholic Answers, the president of Catholic Answers, came out and said. We chose the character to convey a quality of knowledge and authority, and also as a sign of the respect that all of us at Catholic Answers hold for our clergy. Many people, however, have voiced concerns about this choice. We hear these concerns, and we do not want the character to distract from the important purpose of the application. So people are upset that it's not actually a priest?
That's what I'm getting.
Yeah, maybe they should have made it Cardinal Justin. I don't know, Archbishop Justin.
Are they upset because it's not a live chat?
Well, because what? You've got a Catholic website. It's like, Justin, he answers.
Yeah, I think it's, I think they were probably, the concerns were more like, I don't know, you're giving a certain level of authority to this AI character. You know, and obviously an AI character can't stand in the persona Christi at the moment of consecration. So, you know, he's not a priest by definition.
As much as Twitter's a cesspool, I do love it. Don Orca, Catholic Orca on Twitter says, I will never forgive the no fun crowd for laicizing, or whatever that word is. Laicizing Father Justin. Now he smokes pipe tobacco and reads G.K. Chester.
Laicizing, by the way, is going from clergy to laity. It's
Okay,
it's a demotion, yeah.
Yeah. Well, we've got a few of the cases in this archdiocese here lately.
Yeah, but Catholic Answers is kind of a joke at this point. I followed them for years. You know, Trent Horn used to be, actually Jimmy Aiken, who's an apologist with them, had a debate just last night with someone who I'm very fond of, and it was just embarrassing. No offense to the Catholic listeners, you just don't have the answers. Protestantism wins every time. But yeah, I mean, Jimmy Aiken is a joke. Trent Horn, pretty much a joke, even though Ben Shapiro's been having Trent Horn on, and he's just he is a bumbling fool. I don't know anything about the president, John Sorensen, but their main apologists that have been doing work for the past several decades, they're just very lackluster.
What do you think of somebody, because he's really renowned, like a William Lane Craig?
I am not a fan of his apologetic methodology, specifically because he will typically argue from the perspective of like a general theism.
Right.
As opposed to a very specific monotheism.
Right.
And I think that's where you have to go to. It is light years apart, the two premises, one premise being that there is a God, and then the premise being that this carpenter that lived 2,000 years ago was his son. Right. Those are light years apart, and you kind of, if you're going to claim one, you have to stake your claim on that one.
Because you have theistic notion, like, I mean, Socrates is kind of...
Yeah, exactly. Like, you could even say that Socrates was a monotheist. Right. You could make that argument. But there's no specificity to it. It's very omnibus and whatever. And so if you go through this, like, the general proofs for a creative force or whatever, you still have all your work ahead of you. And I think Hitchens made that point pretty clearly in most of his debates when people would argue for a general theism. He's like, no, you're a Christian, but you're arguing for a general idea of a God, and that's inconsistent. You're a Christian, argue as a Christian.
Right.
Argue for your premise. So he also, and William Lane Craig also just had some really bad theology that I dislike. I mean, I'm not casting him out of the kingdom by any stretch of the imagination, but I think his apologetic methodology leaves much to be desired. He has a lot of money behind him. That's why he's able to debate the big wigs. That's like Sam Harris, for instance. It costs, I think, $50,000 to schedule a debate with him. Most of your good apologists don't have that kind of cash floating around, but he has a lot of money behind him. And obviously, there was Ravi Zacharias back in the day, and that went very poorly.
Yeah, I watched one with Alex O'Connor. He's now kind of a well-known atheist, still remains that way.
Is he Cosmic Skeptic? Is that his?
Yeah. And he's now got his own Alex O'Connor YouTube page. And to give credit to Alex, I think he did get PhDs in theology. Like, he's not coming out of ignorance of
He's the best. He's the best the other side has to offer.
And so I watched William Lane Craig defend the Canaanite slaughter with divine command theory. on that. So it got a little more in the actual
Yeah.
Christian slipstream. And honestly, I wasn't really impressed by the argument.
What was the argument?
Well, it's pretty basic logic where if divine command theory is true and God commands Israelites to do these things, then you must do what God says, even if it suspends the normal rules of morality.
Yeah.
And so, but the question Alex kept coming back to in my own head, I'm like, so how do you know when God commanded it? And he's like, well, in the Bible we know. And he's like, well, okay, but today, how would you know? How would you know you have permission to do something like that?
It is the time frame would be something that's different, because there are times where there was in human history where there was direct communication between God and his creation, and now that communication, audible, now that communication comes through the assembled word of God that we have there, and therefore you have principles that you have to apply to whatever. So obviously there are times where it would be appropriate for a Christian to engage in slaughter. Like, that's what warfare is, and war is a necessary part of human existence. So yeah, you would say, hey, is this consistent with the revelation of God? Is this slaughter consistent with the revelation of God? Let's say there was a Christian nation and they had to engage in warfare. Well, I don't care what any of the Quaker pacifists had to say. It's unrealistic to think that you can live in a world without violence, and Christians have always, not always, but have developed a decent theology of violence, and I think it has to be approached from that side. The argument for the Canaanite slaughter it's very simple. It's like, okay, you're saying it's wrong. Says who?
Right.
That's where we go to.
But I found William Lane Craig's response is, well, now, Alex, you're going into epistemological questions, but the basic logic follows.
That has no epistemological
Well, you say
structure.
the question, how would you know if God was actually commanding this in the here and now today?
Yeah.
And he's like, you're moving it to how will we know this in a particular time, but the basic logic that I'm laying out there means, well, divine command theory, I'm not sure if I'm sold on that.
I'm honestly not familiar with the term, but the fact is I would be in general agreement. Yeah, if the creator of the universe, who commands judgment on a people through their slaughter and commands a certain people to engage in that slaughter, then that is of necessity a good thing. Not that the thing itself is good, but it is good that it be done. Right. And likewise, there are times where God, funnily enough, in Isaiah 10, it's where the Assyrians, he's judging his own people, the people of Israel. So he sends the king of Assyria to harm and to slaughter his people. And then he punishes the king of Assyria for doing just that, because he did it from a sinful heart. He did it out of a prideful and sinful heart. So it goes back to who is God and who is man. God, he does as he pleases in the heavens and the earth, and no man can stay his hand or say to him, what doest thou?
And I got into a little bit with somebody bring up the Old Testament. I'm like, this is also important. Well, you need to read the whole thing. Watch, there are many different lessons being brought forth, many different revelations. And so if you just cherry pick one, and you're probably not doing it the right way.
Well, and one final thing on that is most people will see the harshness of, say, the slaughter of the Amalekites, and they'll always focus on the horrificness of that slaughter, and it is horrific. But they never once contemplate, what does that mean about the nature of God, and what does that mean about the nature of sin? How bad is single or corporate sin? How bad is that actually, and what type of punishment does that demand from a righteous and a just God? Most people don't take that. Well, if God is who he says that he is, then there's probably a good reason for what he's doing, consistent with his nature and character. And most people don't make that leap. They're just like, oh, big sky daddy bad, he killed people.
Right. Well, and there are also, I think Alex O'Connor and William Lane Craig had a conversation about the historical Jesus. And it was actually pretty
I think O'Connor's pretty settled on the historicity of Jesus.
Right.
I mean,
I think it is pretty settled.
Yeah, it is pretty settled.
Like, well, I guess you could say, well, we can't really prove if Socrates existed, but I think he did. Like, I mean, if we're going to do ancient history, you're talking about primary sources around the same time.
We know it as much as we can know anything from that period.
Right. And it is an interesting time in that regard where there's more conversations like this happening online than ever before.
And the atheists are softening up, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, even Dawkins, his whole cultural Christian thing that he went on the other day. It's like, dude, this is Richard Dawkins of all people.
Right, I saw that, and some of the I've been really impressed with Stephen Meyer. I've been listening to. I've seen him debate people, but Berlinski, who remains a secular Jew, but Berlinski's books, The Devil's Delusion, and a lot of stuff he's done on Darwinism, it's just fascinating.
Yeah, his Berlinski is brilliant. If you see the conversation that he had with what's homeboy from the Hoover Institution,
Peter Robinson.
Yeah, Peter Robinson. He sits down with Berlinski, Meyer, and another gentleman who is forsaken Darwinian. He's a secularist, but he's forsaken Darwinian theory. I have to send it to you. It's absolutely
Oh
yeah, you have it. Yeah, it's absolutely fascinating because you're seeing Meyer, who is a Christian, although he has some funkiness in and of himself, same as William Lane Craig. But they all can agree that the pervasiveness of the Darwinian theory has kind of been shoehorned into the scientific community, and it doesn't really match up with evidence that's continuing to come up, especially DNA evidence.
Well, Berlinski noticed that very early on, it was actually the people getting into information technology, like computer coding, and they realized, oh, wait, we have a code here with DNA. And you ask anybody in computer code, could you randomly have changes in that code and the code still work, or would it just absolutely fall apart?
Yeah.
And so it essentially it comes down to the claim that this is irreducibly complex. There's not enough time, and random selection would not allow for workable DNA structures and proteins and whatnot.
Because it has no predictive ability. Because any of the internal mechanism cannot predict the outcome of a change of, say, one particular protein in a strand of DNA, where if you change or adjust the wrong protein, it is a catastrophic failure of the organism altogether. And those changes theoretically would be happening with posterity in every generation, at least to some extent. So we don't see complete, total failures of organisms happening just because of this. Then nobody would survive. It's that intricate, and it's like you have a 10,000 mile long strand of beads, and you have to randomly, if you pick the wrong bead out and put another bead in, the entire system fails. And you're supposed to do that randomly, and it's supposed to have some sort of predictive power, and it's like mathematically it's impossible.
Well, and I think Berlinski says it's not that Darwinism is just completely wrong. Like, adaptation is a pretty useful.
It's observable. That's observable.
It's a useful idea, but it's incomplete, very incomplete. It does not answer even some of the deepest questions, and also some of the actual evidence in the fossil record. And so there's
the Cambrian explosion is just weird. It's
Right.
just weird, and it doesn't make sense in from a Darwinian perspective. And obviously, you still have all your work ahead of you when it comes to the origins.
Right.
And I think that's where obviously the general theists have the strongest point.
So you aren't a proponent of like panspermia, like this came from a alien species that injected the Earth? Or
and I find the whole.
Do you have anything to add to this conversation?
No, you guys are doing good. You guys are doing real good.
Roger's probably going to call back.
I prefer I like grilled spermia. I'm not a panspermia guy.
Yeah, could y'all just sign language this and let Eddie talk about silly things? Hey, we have to hit this break. Hopefully we'll have Michael Cohen on the other side. But first, this part of the program brought to you by Alabama Home Mortgage. And they're at Alabama Home Mortgage, Kim Williams and Madeline Cannon. Well, they can help you with buying a home, especially if you're a first-time home buyer. That pre-approval, I'll just put it this way, Eddie, not all pre-approvals are made equal.
Not at all. Not at all.
So if you want a superior pre-approval, one that, a potential seller, it's like, oh, wait, you worked with Alabama Home Mortgage?
Correct.
They're going to be like, yeah, okay, we know this person's solid.
They know they're a good local company.
And then Kim and Madeline will walk you through that home buying process all the way to closing day. Or it could be you're looking to refinance, unload that credit card debt off your back. Or it could be you want to reinvest in your property. If you have equity built up in your home, these are great ways to put yourself in a better position to accomplish your goals. And I can't think of anybody better than these great local folks who will actually get to know you, like Kim and Madeline there at Alabama Home Mortgage. So give them a call today, 567-4223, and that's 567-4223. You can visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. Folks, there is a difference in mortgage companies. Let Kim and Madeline prove that to you today. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Weather is brought to you by the Johnny Adams Law Firm.
I'm Johnny Adams, your Alabama personal injury attorney with the Johnny Adams Law Firm. Stay weather alert all day long with the Rich Thomas Weather Network.
Hi, everybody. The last weekend of April will go down in the books as a really nice one here in central Alabama. Tonight, very mild, cloudy at times. Overnight low temperature down to about 65. Tomorrow and Sunday, a great weekend forecast. Lots of sunshine. There'll be some high clouds mixed in at times. Nice and warm, mid-80s here in central Alabama, 70s down on the coast, 60s at night, and still warm Monday with a high around 86. Good bit of sunshine with the risk of widely scattered storms arriving on Tuesday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
For the lowest prices around on flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies, Budget Floors and More is your new best friend. Luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, floor installation supplies, and more with prices lower than the big box stores. Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey Publix.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group. Have you ever considered turning your home into a rental and build wealth at the same time? People throughout the river region are doing that right now. By investing wisely in the right property or turning your current home into a rental is the secret. Hiring a property manager to professionally manage your property is the way to prosperity. Our company does all of the advertising, personally showing prospective tenants, does a thorough background check and credit report before moving forward. Over 15 critical services are provided to our clients in protecting the asset, but also providing the best residence in your home possible. Collecting rent on time and frequent inspections help landlords feel better about renting their house, and to provide clean, well-kept homes that anybody would be proud to call home. For a complete list of property management services, call Bo Goodson at the Goodson Group at 221-2883 or 551-0225.
The Harriet 2 offers the finest entertainment in Montgomery with cruises on the Alabama River each weekend. Start your weekend with the Friday night family dinner cruise. Enjoy a delicious meal with dessert and cocktails as you dance to the live entertainment. Saturday, take in the scenic sunset cruise with stunning views and more entertainment. End your weekend with the Blues Cruise Sunday evening. Relax and listen to the sounds of local jazz artists as you sip on craft cocktails. Book your cruise on the Harriet 2 today at funinmontgomery.com.
Now you can add the power of digital advertising to the #1 reach of radio. Let Blue Water's 20 years of local advertising and marketing success show you how. Grow your business with a complete suite of digital solutions, combined with the reach of the most listened to radio group in the river region. Call us or go to BlueWaterBroadcasting.com to find out how we can increase your return on investment. Blue Water Broadcasting, local folks helping local business.
Your moment has arrived. It's time to shed the normal day-to-day version of yourself and let your most fabulous self loose. Make your way to Wind Creek Atmore, because whatever your idea of fabulous is, this is where you'll find it. Wind Creek Atmore. It's your kind of fabulous. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
On FM, on your smartphone, and online, the River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. Let's go right to the phones and talk to Michael Cohen of Cohen's Electronics and Appliances. Hey, Michael.
Hey, how are you?
Doing all right. Been a good week. So far, been a good week there at Cohen's?
It's been wonderful. I see you have your little helper today.
My little helper. That's one word for him.
How you doing, Michael?
I'm good. How are y'all?
I'm doing wonderful, man. Appreciate you missing me while I'm not here.
Yeah, I mean, it's not everybody just gets to lay out like you do.
This is true. This is true.
We're all jealous. No.
Actually, Michael, to be honest, I was hanging a TV I bought from you. Finally hung the TV in this room that we bought for you right around Christmas time.
Fantastic.
Yes, yes. So I feel like I have a legitimate excuse.
Yeah.
Now, next time, maybe not so much, but this time for sure.
Now, I think you need to, Eddie, up your sound game next.
You know, I thought about that, Joey, because I used to have the Bose system, but the new TV we bought 2 years ago does not go with the Bose system anymore. And I like the idea of like a wireless sound bar, that type thing.
So you have a solution like that, Michael?
We need to get you a nice Sonos system.
But I'd like to really come in there and look at that, because I like the idea of wireless. I'm too old to bend over and run wires through attics or through the floor and stuff like that anymore.
It's a good policy. Don't
Thank
bend
you.
over.
Thank you.
And the cool thing about the sound bars from Sonos is you hook them up to the ARC on the back of the television, and it's like everything just automatically happens.
Yeah, that's what I need.
Oh, wow.
That's what I need in my life.
So, yeah, third grade level. It's works great.
That's what I need. Any kind of electronics like that, I need easy peasy.
And these sorts of, the new tech allows you to have that surround feel, right, with less speakers.
Well, that's right. I mean, the big bar that Sonos makes kind of envelops the front half of the room. To me, it's kind of like a little horseshoe of what it gives you. And if you add the rear speakers, then you've taken care of the rest of the room. You add some subwoofers. You can on the big one, you can actually add 2 subwoofers.
Ooh, nice.
To give you all the bass that you want.
I like that bass.
Yeah. So I mean, the beauty is that you hook up the sound bar with an HDMI cable to the television, and everything else just plugs into the wall, and you set it up on the app. And then once you get it set up, not only can you listen to all of your favorite TV shows with better sound, but you can also, through the app, you can go to all these different streaming services. Some of them are free, some of them you have to subscribe to. But you can listen to virtually any radio station in the world that's online, as well as Pandora, Spotify, Deezer, XM, satellite. I mean, there's a ton of sources that you can listen to.
Well, folks, there are so many options there at Cohen's, and I'm an audiophile. Like, I really do. Like, my sound's got to be right, and they can hook you up there at Cohen's, and again, across the board. So many options. Just go to their website, thinkcohens.com. You can see all they have to offer, but I really encourage you to stop by the Boulevard, 2515 Eastern Boulevard, right here in Montgomery. They're open 9 to 6, Monday through Friday, 9 to 4 on Saturdays. And be sure to find Michael, one of the great team members there at Cohen's, and say, hey, I heard Michael on the radio with Joey and his little helper.
His little helper.
Thank you, Michael. I really appreciate you. I owe you one, buddy.
Oh, we got to enter top of the hour break. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusada, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. Students protesting the Israel-Hamas war are digging in at Columbia University for a 10th day. Columbia officials have said they will seek other options if the negotiations with protesters fail. Cargo ships now passing through a newly opened deep water channel in Baltimore after being stuck in that harbor since the Francis Scott Key Bridge collapsed 4 weeks ago. In health news, it's now illegal to sell weight loss and muscle-building supplements to minors in New York. The first in the nation law went into effect this week. Experts are saying that loose federal regulation of dietary supplements has resulted in these products sometimes including unapproved ingredients like steroids, putting kids at risk. The Dow had 190 points, and the Nasdaq is adding 317. This is SRN News.
Honey, it's our favorite leaf filter trusted pro, Matt. Matt, come in, come in.
Hi, Mrs. Sparks. You wanted me to stop by? Is everything okay with your leaf filter gutter protection system?
Okay, of course, silly. We wanted you to stop by for dinner as our way of thanking you.
Yes, to thank you for that free gutter inspection, the free estimate, and what was the other thing?
That lifetime guarantee.
Well, Mr. and Mrs. Sparks, those are just Leaf Filter's policies. Everyone who calls Leaf Filter gets a trusted pro to come out for a free gutter inspection and estimate. And every Leaf Filter installation comes with a lifetime guarantee.
So it's not just us?
No, sir. We don't want anyone to worry about clogged gutters ever again.
You mean everyone gets this level of service?
Everyone. They just need to visit leaffilter.com/gold to schedule their free inspection.
Okay, but you must be starving. You work so hard.
Ready to love your gutter protection as much as we do? Visit leaffilter.com/gold and get up to 30% off today.
See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, where dump truck drivers are in demand. Wiley Sanders is on the grow. We need dump truck drivers now. Call 855-77-9785.
Hi, everybody. The last weekend of April will go down in the books as a really nice one here in central Alabama. Tonight, very mild, cloudy at times. Overnight low temperature down to about 65. Tomorrow and Sunday, a great weekend forecast. Lots of sunshine. There'll be some high clouds mixed in at times. Nice and warm, mid-80s here in central Alabama. 70s down on the coast. 60s at night. And still warm Monday with a high around 86. Good bit of sunshine with the risk of widely scattered storms arriving on Tuesday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Thank you once again for voting ASE the best credit union and best mortgage company in Central Alabama's Reader's Choice Awards. We're honored to serve our members for 69 years and counting.
ASE Credit Union, your life, your goals, your ASE.
1819 News.
The Alabama House Judiciary Committee on Wednesday approved a bill that would penalize a parent whose child brings a gun to school. The bill, sponsored by Democratic Representative Barbara Drummond from Mobile, requires that parents store firearms in a way that minors cannot access them. If firearms are not locked away appropriately and a student brings the gun to school, the parent could be charged with a Class A misdemeanor. The bill now goes to the full House. More Alabama news to come after this.
Are you enjoying 1819 News? If so, consider joining 1819 News as a member. As a nonprofit news organization, we depend on the support of Alabamians like you. Memberships start out as little as $5 a month, and you'll get access to exclusive content only offered to our members. You'll be supporting independent journalism done by people who cherish Alabama values. Become a member today by visiting 1819news.com and clicking Become a Member. That's 1819news.com and click Become a Member today.
Veteran ABC 3340 news anchor Pam Huff announced her retirement this week after working as a television journalist for over 40 years in the Birmingham market. Huff, who began her career at the age of 24, has interviewed every single Alabama governor since George Wallace. Huff has been at ABC 3340 since 1996 after a stint at WVTM, the NBC affiliate, and has served as a host of Good Morning Alabama, as the station's managing editor, and as the 4 p.m. and 5 p.m. news anchor. Huff says she's not sure what the next adventure will be, but that she is excited for it. The leading receiver for the Penn State football team announced plans to transfer to Auburn this week. Keandre Lambert-Smith committed on social media to much fanfare from the Auburn Tigers. Smith has 116 career catches for 1,598 yards, leading the team with 53 catches and 4 touchdowns last season. He's the only Penn State player with multiple 80-yard catches, including the longest pass play in Rose Bowl history. I'm Parker Schneider in for Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number 1 in the number 2 business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
This is your roving reporter, and today I am talking with an elk. Hey man, Mr. Elk, I was just wondering, what do elk do to take care of their money? Well, like most smart folks, we call David Ernest. You mean Alabama's most favorite asset preservationist? That's him, man. We call him up at 334-279-7431 or
205-479-0839.
I see.
Yes, he is our preferred money man.
The money man with the money plan.
You've been paying attention.
Well, could you give us those numbers one more time?
334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. And I just want to try to give you a heads up, man.
Oh, what's that?
I'm not an elk.
Not an elk, huh? Well, then, pray tell, what are you?
Knights of Columbus.
I am not even going to make a comment.
Well, the baby liked it.
Medical Outreach Ministries is a free healthcare clinic providing primary and specialty care for uninsured low-income adults in our area. MOM sees almost 1,000 patients annually who are attended to by volunteers, including physicians, nurses, and pharmacists. Please call 334-281-8008 or visit momclinic.org to learn how you might qualify for our services, volunteer, or donate to this vital community service.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
If we lose freedom here, there's no place to escape to. This is the last stand on earth.
We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by so you know the thing.
Hold on to your butt.
I got hairy legs.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. I'm Joey. We also have Eddie Bader here. Hey, Eddie, how you doing?
Doing good. How you doing, buddy?
Doing all right. We also have Craig Munger here. Hey, Craig.
I'm doing swell.
And for those of you who don't know, turn down the music, hippie. Craig here is a reporter for 1819 News. And you've been covering for, what, months now, if not longer, the whole public library spat that's been going on in this state over obscene material.
I actually started it, believe it or not.
You started the spat?
Well, I mean, I was the first one to report on it. It started in Prattville, and people got in touch with me, and they were concerned about books, and I wrote about it. And for the past year, it has exploded into what we see now. So,
wow,
you're welcome.
So, the recent piece, I guess this came out, what, yesterday or today? Great step towards protecting children. Reaction comes in on House passage of bill removing school public library obscenity exception. So, number one, I was talking about this with Allison Sinclair yesterday. I didn't know there were obscenity exceptions in those institutions.
Yeah, I mean, you can't disseminate obscene material, and so, but they have exceptions in that. One of them was libraries and public school libraries and university libraries, and because you can see it in universities as being logical. That's why they didn't touch those exceptions.
Sure.
And in the past, it was for things like, so people didn't get in trouble for like biology textbooks and stuff like that. It wasn't for what we're seeing in libraries now, and so it was a loophole that they were able to get around. And lawmakers, seeing the concern of so many people about the types of books that are being put in these libraries, they decided to address it. So now you have to not do that anymore, or assuming that it makes it to the Senate, which it will. They prioritized it. The Speaker of the House is a co-sponsor, which kind of means that it's going to get done. And so they also in the bill, they had something initially that would have essentially preventing drag shows, but any sort of promiscuous display in public where children are expected to be present. They took that out. Not quite sure why. I think maybe because it was too vague or broad, or maybe someone would try to make a stink about some, cheerleader float in like a local parade. I don't know, but that's where we stand now, and it has to go through the Senate, and I think it will. And I think, like with any piece of legislation, it's imperfect. There's more ambiguity than I would like in the bill, but those are things that have to get worked out as we go along.
Now, just in the fairness, and you include this in your story, Craig, the Alabama Library or American Library Association, and then the ALA president, Craig Scott.
No, that's the Alabama Library.
That's the
Association.
Alabama
Yeah,
Library,
which is
yeah.
the state chapter of the ALA. So
It's just that I was getting my L's confused.
Yeah,
It's the one L, the
there's
two
ALA,
L.
and then there's ALLA. ALL. You see, you can't say it. It's
Like
stupid.
I've been saying, folks, I'm
Allah.
a fancy idiot. I get confused all the time.
We just call it Allah.
So, Allah.
Allah.
But here, I want to quote him. The Alabama Library Association's president, Craig Scott, condemns this bill's passage, and he says, quote, "The message is clear. Don't arrest Alabama librarians and stop turning our libraries into political battlefields." And did that just start? Or? Montgomery politicians are now seeking to criminalize librarians simply for doing their jobs. Under HB 385, even with the revised language, public and school librarians could be penalized or even arrested by prosecutors eager to follow the demands of Alabama Republican Chair John Wall, the Alabama Public Library Services Board member who's willing to jail librarians for having books he considers unacceptable. This bill is government overreach, robs parents of their rights, and would have a chilling effect on free speech by potentially incarcerating librarians because particular books are available, including even the Bible. What?
Yeah, that's kind of a trite point that they like to make, and it will be interesting to see how it plays out in practicality. That goes back to the ambiguity that I was talking about in the bill, that I feel like could be better. Obviously, people know what we're talking about here. So whenever he says the thing about turning libraries into political battlefields, the side against these books, they didn't start that. They just found out that there was a group of people, large, powerful, well-funded, who are making concerted efforts to inject garbage into the brains of children and to push a political and social ideology. That's it. So you drew first blood in that regard, and this is just a response because, as it turns out, people don't like you showing porn to kids. So, and the thing with the Bible, yeah, I'm sure that that's going to come up in some sort of complaint from some troublemakers or whatever, and we'll have to see how this shakes out in litigation, because the process is you're supposed to submit a complaint that's saying that something is sexually explicit, and then if it's determined to be sexually explicit or obscene, then it has to be removed within 7 days. Now, I don't know who's supposed to make that determination. It sounds like it's the entity itself, and there's no appeal process for either side. And the prosecution, it says you're supposed to deliver a copy of whatever letter to the district attorney, but the district attorney isn't going to be the one prosecuting anything. It's going to be in municipal court.
Wait. Because I'm reading this, like the current law.
Yeah.
And essentially you can't distribute, you can't possess with intent to distribute any obscene material or any device designed or marketed as useful primarily for the stimulation of human genital organs, or for anything of pecuniary value, monetary value. Material not otherwise obscene may be obscene under this section if the distribution of the material, the offer to do so, or the possession with the intent to do so is a commercial exploitation of erotica solely for the sake of prurient appeal. So when they say the Bible, are we talking about like Solomon? Was it him?
No, I mean there's narratives of certain things that happen. Obviously, the story of the concubine who was ravaged and her body was separated into 4 pieces.
It's pretty gnarly.
It is pretty gnarly, and again, it's like nobody's. The conversation here is, if you cannot see a distinction between a historical piece of work like that and then something that's trying to convince kids that they might not be the gender in their same body, if you think that those are the same things, then I feel sorry for you that you have to engage in our society with that lack of critical thinking. It's like you could say the same thing about the Odyssey, by the way. There's plenty of freakiness in the Odyssey, but nobody is or was complaining about the Odyssey. And there were some fuddy-duds who complained about, I don't know, let's say Ulysses, for instance, back in the day. But it is funny to think of Ulysses is what people thought of as obscene back in the day.
Right.
And now we're talking about just straight up depictions of sex acts with a social and political ideology injected in there. That is a far cry difference from a narrative. And that's what you find in things like the Bible, the Odyssey, and other works that contain descriptions of certain activities. And again, it's done far more delicately than any of these other pictures. It's like literally there's a cartoon drawing of a young girl and it's teaching the reader how to masturbate. That's not the same thing.
Right. Yeah, one of these is not like the other.
Exactly. And to conflate them just shows a level of intellectual dishonesty that almost means that you shouldn't be taken seriously by a thinking person.
And let's keep in mind also that this is just explicitly the public institutions that are publicly funded.
Correct. You can go on Amazon and buy whatever the hell you want.
Right. And you imagine all the time and effort into this fight. Like, couldn't you just have, say, a fund to provide whatever books you want to have whatever families if they want to affirm a certain identity?
Yeah, sure you could. Yeah. But I always go back to this point when people, you'll have like the ALA talk about we don't want censorship. We want children should have access to whatever. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to draw a cartoon book, and it's called Little Sammy Stone's a Sodomite. And it's going to be talking about a biblical ethic and a Judaic law of how to deal with homosexuality. It's going to be a kid's book, and it's going to be teaching about that. And I'm going to make that up. I'm going to publish it, and I'll donate it to your library. You think it's making it on the shelf?
No.
How about this? How about why every kid needs an AR-15? That's an actual children's book that exists right now.
I thought I heard that before.
How about that?
Yeah.
Do you notice how we're not seeing those books?
Well, and I wouldn't want those books in front of children?
Correct.
Yeah.
But the point is that these books are only coming from one side of the political spectrum, and we're supposed to think that that's a coincidence.
Wait, what about the Tuttle twins?
Yeah, those darned Tuttle twins.
Teaching kids about the gold standard and the Fed.
Yeah, that's bad. But, that's bad. But, as far as showing two 12-year-olds how to diddle one another behind the bleachers after recess, that's okay.
Well, yeah, that needs to be the next book. The Tuttle twins go to the public library. It's going to
come out in a straitjacket.
Yeah.
Papa B, how you doing?
Hey guys, enjoying your conversation today. Yeah, I'm glad that y'all are bringing up evolution. I've been wanting to chime in on, some of this, but just never did find the right moment. And by the way, I think that the things like the public library have been politicized for a long time because a lot of these appointments are political appointments.
Right.
Cherry pick and designed to be, put into those places of power, people that, are political.
You're hitting on one of my favorite things, the myth of the apolitical bureaucrat.
Yeah.
It's like, you're like, come on, you're literally serving a political institution, but it's always the other guy who's dirty and political. Right.
Exactly. Well, but I digress. So, with evolution, as in its basic form is got merit, of course. The idea that you can coax genetic alteration or out of one an animal and make it have another kind of trait. That's husbandry, animal husbandry. It's been done for thousands and thousands of years.
Right.
But the cows stay cows typically.
Right.
The dogs stay dogs. The bugs stay bugs.
Of course, naturally. Well, see, and that's the error of Darwin and the whole Darwinian theory, because they take and the idea that it happens naturally. Well, duh, of course it does, dummy. You don't have to have animal husbandry. A man actually trying to coax those genes out for it to actually happen in the natural. But they take that, and as usual, people with an agenda, they take it and expand it well beyond the realm of reason instantly. But we've been taught, our kids, y'all, everybody for years and decades now have been taught about, Darwin and the theory of evolution, and it's, basically just a big old honking lie. And so I think that we have a lot of folks that have wanted so much to homogenize our society in ways, especially scientifically and all, that, this has become Well, I mean, for lack of a better term, a religious kind of thing. It's become part of our. If you don't believe this, for instance, in your educational circles where you're looked down on and you're treated inferior, and not only that, you're not going to advance. My daughter, who graduated in biology in Mississippi State and then later got her degree in her master's at Auburn, had to forswear, basically her allegiance to evolution, Darwinism, in order to keep on going. I guess they would have had to let her, but she didn't do it. Of course, she hedged and said, well, she believes that, evolution, but not Darwinism anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's what we're up against here. I also believe that there are a lot of people, they may be a homogenized group, that have decided to withhold real evidence about creation.
Well, we have seen in the past, obviously, with I believe Haeckel's embryos is a big example. Why, where people have actually falsified embryonic fossil evidence in order to pursue the natural selection macroevolutionary theory. And I think David Berlinski, who we've talked about before, has a great line. It's like, we like to think of scientists as these people who would sooner be consumed at the stake than to fudge their numbers, but that just isn't the case.
Right. Well, and it seems like it was kind of an interesting theory. Fairly elegant. You could small changes and create all these big changes, but then it was used to try to, as a polemic against one of the most important claims of, say, the Bible, the claims of creation.
Yeah.
And I think that's where it got a lot of its cultural force from.
And also you see it in cosmology, the crossover, where the age of the Earth is continuously getting longer because they need a longer time frame for their system to make sense. And it doesn't matter the amount of time that you put on it. Mathematically, the DNA manipulation required for macroevolution from a common source is just simply too astronomical to be feasible.
Well, there are many, many examples of how it just is not, the theory just does not hold up under scrutiny at all. And so, I can think of a couple of them right up front. We had this, how you had different types of men that developed, and one of them was, a such and such man, and they drew one of those guys from what later turned out to be a pig's tooth. And even though it was proven to be a pig's tooth, they kept that lineage of men. If you remember the little cartoon figures, they kept it for decades. Another one was, the idea of dinosaurs becoming birds. We hear this, the fossil record as being so important. Well, in the fossil record, fully developed birds, are found, before dinosaurs per se, and while dinosaurs, were in existence. They always were there. It's just one thing right after another. But I would also say one more thing. This is a very old theory. It goes back to ancient Greece. This is how they believed it happened. It started from the small and it developed. Now, I'm not going to sit here and try to give you some kind of historical lesson, because I don't know. I've heard it, though, and I've seen it in times past. This was something that was taught from the small to the greater for years, decades, or really centuries before. Anyway, interesting discussion, guys. I really appreciate y'all.
Of course.
About it today.
Thank you, Papa B.
All right.
See you, Papa B.
272-9228. Let's go to Duke. Hey, Duke, how you doing?
Good afternoon, Duke.
What's up, fellas?
How you doing, man?
Well, I almost went to sleep there for a sec there. I was trying to drive and observing things a little bit here.
No, don't do it.
Trying to sleep and drive. I was sleeping and driving at the same time. Is that Craig got there today?
Craig's here.
What's happening?
I thought I heard him back in the background telling lies and everything.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
He ain't told me
So
a lie
what's been
yet.
going on, fella?
You just tell lies to other people, not me.
You're a handsome fella.
Man,
I know it, man. I am.
Yeah.
Appreciate that, Craig.
That's my boy. That's yeah. I was listening about the library and all that stuff, and y'all confusing me. People confusing me nowadays. Now, he talks about protecting the kids in the library, but if a child get raped, the same child get raped by somebody, y'all gonna force her to have that baby. So what sense that make? And when you want to say you want to protect the child, talk to me.
Murder is wrong. So is showing kids sexually explicit stuff. It's not complicated.
What you mean is wrong? That's that same child you say you want to protect from hearing that stuff or reading these books, right?
Correct. And rape of children is wrong, and so is killing a child.
Hold a minute now.
All right.
Well, let's focus on the child.
Okay, I'll focus.
This 10-year-old child that you trying to protect from.
Can we jump it up to where a child can reasonably get pregnant? I don't know any pregnant 10-year-olds.
Okay, no. I'm saying that this guy you guys the so-called conservative using this alien from Georgia, wherever raped this woman or killed or whatever hell have to. He said it come out right for
Lake and Riley.
But yeah. Okay. What if this individual rape a 10-year-old girl and get her pregnant? But the government say they want to force her to have this baby when she's been traumatized and raped and
Duke, we don't execute the victims of crimes. That's a common.
But you want to pick and choose how you want to protect the child.
Says no. It's not picking and choosing. Okay, well then let me break it down for you. You don't show kids porn at all. You don't rape children at all. If it unfortunately does happen, you don't then have the right to kill. No, I'm talking. You then do not get to kill the victim, the second victim of a crime. If a child is conceived of rape, there are two victims, the woman and the child. We don't execute the victims of crimes, period. The end.
But my point is, sir, that should be left up between that child and her parents to make that decision.
So if I can murder my 2-year-old, then that's my decision.
You want to go to jail?
No. Be consistent here, Duke. Be consistent. If I can make the decision to kill my unborn child, why can't I make the decision to kill my born child?
That's different when somebody vows. Let's stick to the point of somebody being raped. Now
I'm saying I'm right there with you.
Okay. I don't believe in abortion. Okay, let's get that out of the way. I can call it, liberal this or liberal that. But my point is that you guys want to protect the child from the library, but when somebody snatch you off the street and rape your child is 10 years old, government want to force her to have that baby. I don't like that. I wouldn't like that in my family. I wouldn't go for that.
It's not forcing them to keep the baby. It's saying that you can't kill it. Those are morally vastly different things.
You can call it what you want, but
that's what it is. It's not calling it what it wants. You can't kill a baby. The end.
I understand that. Okay, you made your point. I made mine, but I understand your philosophy and these people's reasons for choosing one over the other.
How is it not protecting children to not want to kill one?
Well, I'll protect her from my own wanted child that you don't want. That's my point.
Well, there's sometimes I don't want my 2-year-old. I don't get to throw him in the lake. I mean, just a little moral consistency here would be nice.
We can go on and on. We can go on and on.
Oh, yeah, we could. But I think we have here on this merry-go-round of abortion.
I know that. But back to this fake news about some brother did an AI thing on a white guy.
Yeah.
Lied on him. So I'll talk about that a little bit more right there.
Well, why do you think it's fake? A brother wouldn't lie?
I heard that right now.
A brother wouldn't use AI? Like, what are you talking about?
It kind of made me scared now that people can do this stuff to people, man.
It is nuts. That story was nuts.
Now.
Wait till the face swapping really comes out. That's what's going to blow people away.
Yeah.
Guys have to deal with sexual harassment on jobs, and what if a woman just make us some more fake stuff like that on him on the job?
It's going to happen. Guarantee it's going to happen.
Maybe Mike Pencil's right.
Just stay with your wife.
Stay next to your wife.
Wasn't it your voice?
She's in on it.
My wife Karen is a great public school. I've been sleeping with a teacher for years. Like,
Joey, wasn't that your voice? Joey, here, sir. They got the voice, expert, and everything on the stand, and that's his voice.
It is his voice.
Mm-hmm.
What you gonna do, Joey? At that point, sir?
Be like, you copied my voice.
Yeah, I mean, And right now, that principal's got to sound like the world's biggest idiot when he came out and said, "That is not me."
Right.
I mean,
right.
Even your own family would be going, "Dude."
Hey, I remember.
Right.
Hey, I remember a preacher here in Montgomery. He was a gay preacher, and what he was doing, he got caught at the hospital on the camera. He said, but he used to God saying, "I'm a man of God. If you're allowing a man of God." They pulled a video up and showed him. Said, "Isn't that you there, sir?"
Wow.
That'll do it.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
That's what I'm saying. See, but
What a weird day and age we live in.
yeah,
fellas.
y'all got a hell of a world. Y'all got a hell of a world. Y'all living in, but tell me now.
Oh, you're part of the world that we're all in. You're in a different world.
I'm just observing things.
You're like Aladdin.
Yeah.
All right. I get it.
I can show you the world.
But this Craig guy y'all got on the show, right? This Craig guy y'all got on the show, talking about he all cut and everything.
Oh, he's cut.
See?
He's cut.
He's cut.
He's cut.
Oh, I forgot to tell y'all. I read up on Red Top.
Oh, yeah.
Was it Home Depot, Home Depot? No, Lowe's. I read up on him in Lowe's a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Red Top. He's an interesting cat. He was talking to one of the employees there. He was talking about the talk show. Really? He said, "Oh, y'all don't hear me on the talk show." He was fussing about something. I walked up.
Imagine that.
I had my sunglasses on. I
Wait,
made my chest jump.
I never say, "Do you know who I am?" If you're a caller, you can't do that. Like, what is that?
You don't listen to me on my show? I call in.
hey, Red Top, he looked at me on the face. He said, "Oh, what about you, sir? What do you think about certain thing?" And so I had my sunglasses on. He didn't know who I was, and I'm just talking to him. I didn't say anything at first. I just looked at it, and he said, "Are you gonna say any damn thing?" So I made my chest jump, made my chest muscles jump. He said, "Hell, I do that shit too." And so I took my glass off. I just do Red Top. Oh man, so that's kind of funny though. We went down that day. Matter of fact, last week.
Local celebrity.
Serendipity, baby. Well, I got to run, Duke. Appreciate it.
All right.
Have a great weekend, Duke. See you, buddy.
272-9228. How about this? Got to hit this break. Eric the dog, hold on.
Hold on, Eric.
We'll be right back.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Hey there, folks. It's your trusted real estate professionals, Hannah Grantham and Eddie Bader, here with an exciting announcement. We have made the move to Forest Meadows Homes and Lands. That means we're now even more equipped to serve you and your real estate needs.
That's right. Whether you're buying or selling, working with us ensures that you're in the best hands. Personalized service, expert advice, and now more options and opportunities.
So why wait? Let's make your real estate dreams a reality. Give me, Hannah Grantham, a call at 334-368-6358.
Or me, Eddie Bader, 334-322-0662, and let's get you moving.
Make 2024 the year you break away from the chain stores and join us here at Adams Drugs. We value your business and want to provide you the best customer service at the lowest possible price. We've been serving up excellent customer service here in the River region for over 62 years.
I made the swap to Adams Drugs and I couldn't be happier. Having a job and then getting 3 kids to all of their activities keeps me busy. I don't have an hour to waste waiting on a prescription. At Adams, they know me and my family. I get in and out in minutes, and when I can't get by Adams, they'll bring the prescription right to my door.
What are you waiting for? Come in to Adams Drugs and let us earn your business. Our friendly and personal staff will talk with you and answer any questions you may have about your prescriptions. Your satisfaction is our #1 goal. Visit us at adamsdrugs.net for the location nearest to you. Adams Drugs is your local independent Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com. This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is #1 in the #2 business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Hi there, I'm Madeline Cannon with Alabama Home Mortgage. Getting pre-approved is the first step towards home ownership. People are often scared or nervous about taking that first step, but I'll tell you, it's nothing to be scared of. At Alabama Home Mortgage, we will take the first step and every step along the way with you. Call us at 567-4223. We will gather the information needed to tell you exactly what you qualify for. After a call to Alabama Home Mortgage, you will know what price point to shop for, what down payment is required, if any, and what your monthly mortgage payment will look like. We take all the guessing out of it. Then, when you find the house you want to make your home, you are ready to make an offer. Along with your offer, you will submit your Alabama Home Mortgage pre-approval letter. This shows sellers that you've already taken the steps necessary to ensure that you qualify to purchase their home. Wait no longer. It's time to take that first step together. Call me at 567-4223 or start the process online at myalabamahomemortgage.com.
That's Alabama Home Mortgage because, folks, there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586-36-8, Equal Housing Lender.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. PBS Painting, there are no gimmicks, no $99 specials. Just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, then please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
This is Matt Woodham with Woodham Southside Firestone. As a businessman, you need to watch your advertising dollar. We've been using Blue Water Broadcasting for many years. Blue Water Broadcasting is the biggest bang for your buck. Blue Water Broadcasting and Woodham Southside Firestone, great combination.
Did you know that radio is the #1 reach platform in all of media? It's true. Call us to find out how to put radio's #1 reach to work for your business. Blue Water Broadcasting, local folks helping local business.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is #1 in the #2 business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Montgomery Paint and Body. From a little fender bender to total body repair, MPB will fix it good as new, maybe better. For over 35 years, the Turner family has been getting you back on the road. Call 279-7325.
Everybody, the last weekend of April will go down in the books as a really nice one here in central Alabama. Tonight, very mild, cloudy at times, overnight low temperature down to about 65. Tomorrow and Sunday, a great weekend forecast. Lots of sunshine. There'll be some high clouds mixed in at times. Nice and warm, mid-80s here in central Alabama, 70s down on the coast, 60s at night, and still warm Monday with a high around 86. Good bit of sunshine with the risk of widely scattered storms arriving on Tuesday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
John Bobo with Capital Tractor. Got a lot of jobs to do this spring? Save now on Kubota's BX23S tractor loader and backhoe combo at Capital Tractor and check off that to-do list. Powering Alabama, Kubota and Capital Tractor, Montgomery, Brundage, and Greenville.
When news happens, you'll hear about it first. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. 272-9228 if you want to get in before we close up shop. And let's go to Eric the dog. Hey, Eric, how you doing?
What up, Eric?
How you doing, fellas?
Hanging in here like a hair in a biscuit.
I heard that. Speaking of that, taste those biscuits, Eddie. I heard they're good.
They are.
Yeah. Maybe get Joey to make an intro cover version of that song.
Ooh, with the honey sauce.
Ain't that big?
Oh, with the honey sauce.
Yeah.
Are we back on food again?
I'm sorry.
I'm so hungry.
Taste the biscuit.
Taste the
It
biscuit.
mixes with my chicken wing.
Yeah. This is Jamie.
I have a serious question.
Okay.
So the border issue, all right, you have laws on the books to enforce the border, right?
Yes.
Everybody knows that. And they're relatively effective when enforced, right?
Pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. I know it's not like putting up a force field or anything, but it can be managed better than it has been.
Certainly.
Why don't some of these legislatures who are supposedly way smarter than me, why don't they focus on strengthening the implementation of those and the making it harder for bureaucracies to circumvent what policies are supposed to be enforced?
Because there ain't no money in the cure.
Because they don't want to.
Oh. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. Welcome to the feeling of hopelessness that is being American.
Yeah.
No, that's not hopelessness. That's like, all right, where do we meet? Because this is, if I'm supposed to sit around and be stupid, I might as well stand somewhere and be stupid. I can multitask.
Well, noon to 3, news and views in the afternoon.
It's a good start.
I've been doing that for a minute. I'm ready to. Y'all got like a gallery we can sit in, throw peanuts at.
I would love to have a peanut gallery, literal peanut gallery. It would be a lot of fun having an actual small audience.
I agree.
Dude, I would take in the lunch hour to come see y'all every day. I don't work that far now.
We don't really have the room in this room, though. I'm looking around.
Yeah,
It'd be a little tight in here.
2 more and we're maxed out, period.
I'll sit in your lap, Joey. Don't worry.
No, you
Got to
won't.
run the board.
Oh, wouldn't that look funny?
You will not sit in my lap.
Of course, when Joey runs the board, it's spelled BORED.
I steal from Norm, too.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Good one, though.
You know, and I think we all have to agree with Duke. You know, if we're going to have rapists running around that the government turned loose, they need to be Americans. I mean, all these guys, I'm tired of them being all these, aliens, unhoused people from other countries coming over here and raping and impregnating all these people. I just think if it was Americans doing it, I think we'd be in a lot better position. And they need to ID people before they start raping them, so, and get the kids out of there. I'm like, all right, well, you almost got it, but, you're a child, and I'm not allowed to do that. Thank God for the law. I don't. The laws aren't the problem.
Enforcement, dude.
People know.
You got to start with simple.
Well, and now it's not even public support. A new poll came out. 51% of Americans support mass deportations. It's Axios doing that poll.
It's going to keep growing.
42% of Democrats want mass deportation.
Yeah, it's going to keep growing. There's just no doubt.
And this is the thing that always confuses me and makes me believe that our entire election system is completely fraudulent. Is when you have a majority of people that have these opinions, and yet somehow the same people still keep getting elected. There's just
like Hillary said, which I hate quoting her, you Americans need to get over it. We're in charge. Get over it.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it's like we supposedly have free elections in this country, and yet morons keep getting elected, and people that have 1 + 1 is 2, not 11. Right. And so there's something weird going on there.
Well, they hacked the American mind 100 years ago.
Yeah.
They figured it out. But the beautiful thing is the new information tech is allowing people to deprogram themselves to a degree. Not fast enough.
Right, not fast enough, but it's happening.
The problem with politics is, like you said, there's no money in the cure.
Nope.
And you get a free election. The only person they're free to are actually, well, they're not free to anybody.
Nope.
We pay for them to do it. They take our money that we're spending with these businesses and support the people that they're doing, that they're implementing these policies that are taking us down a direction we don't want to go. Got governments trying to tell private companies how to run their business because, apparently it's bad to lie to the public unless, it's the government. And these are my people, only I can lie to them. And we're condoning this. And they just look us dead in our face like we're stupid. I mean,
yep.
Katie Britt looks at you and tells you how good she is at being a mom and married and successful businesswoman, and and then she just sends more of her money that we don't have to a place that can't win.
Oh, damn it, Eric. I tried to go one show without mentioning Senator Brett. No, I will say to her credit, she said it sheepishly. I'm like, so do you support more military? Before she gave that response, we had her on. I think it was Valentine's Day. And I asked, do you support more aid to Ukraine? And she didn't lie. Nope. She said straight up she supported more military aid. So I disagree, but she hasn't been dishonest with me. I'll put it that way. She's always been very forthcoming.
And captivating.
Shut up, Eddie.
Just saying.
Shut your mouth when you're talking
like
to
she's
me.
not? You're saying
Craig,
she's
can
not?
you whoop his ass for me?
Yes, you can.
But I can also break out a cheeseburger and flip it, and all of a sudden he's whooping your ass.
Yeah. We'll commit felonies.
Well, I've got a cheesecake over here, so let's.
Hey, I like this bargaining. Come on, guys. Cheesecake over here. Cheeseburger, two cheeseburgers, two cheeseburgers. Go on. Come there.
Get the cheese puffs, Eddie. Get the cheese puffs.
Yeah, by the way, me and the entire press corps had a very interesting debate this week when the House was in recess, and I'd like to see where you guys are in this. Are Cheetos chips?
No. Cheetos chips.
You got to go with no.
They're extrusions.
They're what?
They're extrusions.
Mm-hmm.
I would put Cheetos in the chip category. I would disagree with Eddie. I think Cheetos are chips, and you're going to find them in the chip aisle.
Oh, sure, you'll find them.
Yeah, but you'll find popcorn in the chip.
What about
aisle.
pretzels? Then? Is pretzel a chip?
But you find
Popcorn.
that marshmallow stuff in the bacon aisle. You don't bake with that stuff.
This is
No, I
true.
just eat it right out of the jar.
Yeah, the aisle comparison that really falls short.
Yeah, no, I'm just making this up.
So here's the: if Cheetos are a chip, are the puffy Cheetos a chip?
That's what
Let's get back to rape and incest. Like,
I want some cheesy poops.
But are cheesy poofs
Now
chips?
we're getting down.
so they're their own
Now we're getting
category
to
of snack.
Yeah,
Like a pretzel.
But this is what I determine is that we have too few categories for separating and categorizing our snacks. We need more. It's like, so Sun Chips, Pringles, and Doritos, those are the same thing?
Right, they really aren't.
Yeah.
What about Fritos? Scoop?
Exactly.
What
Funyuns.
about barbecue
Funyuns.
Fritos? Oh, Funyuns. Now you're throwing it out.
See, and
there,
their Funyuns are more like Cheetos.
In a sense, yes, because I think they're
a fried like corn
Goob.
product essentially
Yeah.
with seasoning on it.
fried goop that's circular. Yeah.
But because we have crackers, we all know like a Cheez-It is not a chip; it's a cracker.
Yeah, say it again, Craig.
Yeah.
Yeah, crackers. I identify.
What about a Captain's wafer? Is that a cracker?
Only if you're on the ship.
What's a pretzel? What's a flattened pretzel that you're supposed to dip in hummus?
Oh,
These questions need answering. Where are our lawmakers when we need them to make this law?
I decree this is a chip.
You ever seen them make, by the way, Pringles? It just comes out as just like literal shredded potato.
I don't care. It could come out of a dude's bottom, and I would still eat 4 cans of them.
I'm going to get some pretzels. Some Pringles.
Wait,
Just a few minutes.
Pringles, by the way, I
Okay.
think that's the king of binge
That's
chips.
the top of the line.
By the way, what do you call it do you call it a can of Pringles?
Yeah.
Okay, I heard someone say a tin of Pringles the other
I've heard
day,
a tube
and I wanted to kill them.
What are they,
with a
Canadian
hammer.
or Canadian? Or
Yeah,
I've heard
maybe,
the tube
I don't
of it
know.
too, yeah. But, all right, what do you call the
Canadian.
container that holds tennis balls? Because that's just a Pringles can.
Yeah, but it's not a can, though, is it? Because
Used
at
to
least
be. Now it's a plastic deal with a lid. But used to it was a
Exactly.
rip-open can.
No,
Just
it's a
Pringles.
rip open.
container.
Oh, they still have-
yeah,
keep
that
'em
smell.
fresh?
Yeah, they keep them fresh. That smell is delicious, though.
It
But
is.
yeah, I'll eat the mess out of some sour cream and onion.
In fact, Eddie, I know where you got that from.
I think Pringles' initial intention was to make tennis balls.
There you go.
That's great.
Mitch Hedberg.
But on the day that the rubber was supposed to show up, a big truckload of potatoes arrived. And Pringles said, "What the hell? Cut them up."
I love Mitch Hedberg.
He's so good, man.
My favorite one of his was, I was walking down the street and a guy asked me, "Do you want a frozen banana right now?" And I said, "No, but I want a regular banana later, so yeah."
For the longest time, and maybe it was the circle I was running with, in mid-'90s, it was a rumor that he was from Prattville.
Really?
Really?
Yes. Yes.
No, it wasn't
He
even.
wasn't. He
Yeah.
wasn't. I mean, once the internet came out where it was easily user-friendly, yeah, he was not. But, dude, that was the biggest rumor for a while. And he was on fire, too. It's like, he's from Prattville. Huh? What?
I used to do drugs. I still do, but I used to too.
No, what's
This
one-
jacket is dry clean only, which means that it's dirty.
The escalator, yeah, the one, it's like not out of order. Like the escalator now temporarily stairs.
Yeah. I like escalators. They can never be out of order. They can only become stairs.
Right. That guy, man, what a genius comic.
Yeah. Man, the hair on
Y'all
though.
seen that
God.
one y'all seen that one that Bill Burr does where he's talking about the cake?
Oh, the abortion
the
joke.
abortion one, yeah.
It's a
Well,
good
it
joke.
would have been.
Birthday cake.
My favorite thing that Bill Burr has ever done was his joke about the WNBA, like that whole rant that he went on.
Yeah.
Oh, that was hilarious.
Because you don't sell any tickets.
You're not even buying your own.
Right. You're not even buying your own tickets.
And if folks haven't seen it, go look up the recent appearance of John Lovitz on Burr's podcast.
Oh,
It's
yeah?
amazing.
They are brutal to one
They
another.
roast each
Really?
other like crazy.
Oh, I love
your
Lovitz.
father is a dentist, and yet he didn't teach you how to floss. Like, that's one of Lovett's lines. I'm like, that's corny and hilarious. Anyway, Eric, I got to
All right,
run,
y'all.
man.
Y'all have a good weekend.
See you, brother.
See you, bud.
This part of the program brought to you by Montgomery Men's Health. And there at Montgomery Men's Health, well, they can help you fellas out. You know, guys, as we mature, two things can start to happen, at least two things. One can be erectile dysfunction. Other, more of a general problem, maybe it's leading to that ED, low testosterone. And these are not things to put off, deny, be ashamed about, and certainly not something to wait to get fixed. I know guys hate going to the doctor, but Montgomery Men's Health was created to take care of guys who just don't want to go. They made a clinic just for you. And, the reality is, if you've been trying these things, pills often quit working and guys start making excuses for not coming to bed. There are actually studies now that show men will be more irritable and argumentative before bed just to avoid failing at intimacy. So if you're lacking motivation, energy, and drive, including a loss of sex drive, seeing unwanted weight gain, loss of muscle mass, feel like you're walking through your life in a fog, knowing whether or not you have low T is huge in combating some of these issues. And the providers there at Montgomery Men's Health will conduct a testosterone-focused lab workup plus a consultation for only $99. And Montgomery Men's Health has low T treatments, if that is indeed your problem, that can truly change lives. Men can experience higher energy, better gains in the gym.
Brother.
That's right, brother. Better mental clarity, improved sleep patterns, a faster metabolism, you usually even notice an increased libido. You can actually book the same day that you call. Guys, it's time to feel amazing and hit your goals this year. That number, 440-3663. That's 440-3663. Or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com to book your appointment today.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Come see how you can drive a new Lexus from Lexus of Montgomery today. Drive the new 2024 Lexus ES350, now only $353 a month. Or choose the new 2023 Lexus RZ450E for only $399 a month. You can drive a new Lexus today. Visit Lexus of Montgomery, part of the Sutherland Automotive Group.
VIN number 5177074, $4,995 to assign. VIN number P02044, $3,700 to assign. 36 months, 10K mile lease with approved credit plus tax, tag title, doc fee.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
The premier place the River Region turns to for news, weather, traffic, and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. Or as we're calling it online, Joey Clark Live. 272-9228. If you want to get in before we close up shop here. 272-9228. Why was I seeing Elizabeth Warren's ugly face on the screen there? Oh, that guy, John Deaton, is his name. He's running against her. And in particular, he's going after what Warren has been on the warpath when it comes to cryptocurrency and Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And I think she is my least favorite senator.
Yeah. And that's a deep well.
I remember some political article years ago described her as a moral drill bit. And I'm like, yeah, let's emphasize how much of a tool she is. Like, please. I cannot. She's the fat-free ranch of progressivism.
Yeah, well, no, you should learn to respect people that have her ethnic history. You know, her people came down from the great mountains, and I have seen the great alligator carry the moon across the sky.
That had to be one of Trump's greatest trolls.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Pocahontas, you take a DNA test.
Yeah.
Take a test, Pocahontas. Oh, that's offensive. Well, I'm so sorry you think it's... Anyway, Pocahontas hasn't taken the test. She takes the test. It comes out like it's embarrassing for her. And they go, Mr. Trump, are you not going to donate to that charity? No, I'm not going to,
Right. But how dumb is she to really to take the test and then publish the results?
Yeah, she was 1 in 1,024.
The three of us
Yeah,
have as much as she did.
She couldn't get her card.
Well,
Her
we're from
Indian-
Alabama. Everybody's a little bit Cherokee.
Yeah. She probably thinks that it makes her super Indian to pronounce Sacagawea. She's one of those people. Well, Sacagawea actually helped Lewis and Clark across the...
I'm telling you, though, the collecting those coins is going to pay off one day. Let's go to Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet.
What up, Ray?
Hey, look, if you can identify as anything, it's got to be an Eskimo.
Yeah?
Not a fan of
When
whale
it comes
blubber.
to federal bids, they get number one choice.
Yeah, this is true.
What?
This is true. Preferred
I
status.
told Andrew, listen.
How much federal
Yeah,
money do you get if you
something
identify as an Escahomo?
Yeah, I mean, I would go straight to Alaska if anything ever happened to Andrew. Because you'd have every federal bid. This is how crazy our federal government is. They are guaranteed profit.
Yep.
Guaranteed profit. So if they come in and say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't make any money. I should have made 50% profit," they'll just write them another check.
Yep.
Wow.
Now let me do that. No.
It's not going to happen.
not.
Right.
Not going to happen. Not going to happen. But that's why I don't deal in federal government, federal contracts either. I'd rather just come in and move your furniture out, put new floors in for you, make your wife really happy, and move on to the next house.
There you go.
And if that's what you're looking for, call us at 285-8117. We'll be glad to come out and give you that free measurement today or tomorrow, Monday or Tuesday, whenever. Just not on Sunday.
Well, I love it, Ray. And again, 285-8117, folks. And people are going to be like, why isn't an Alabama guy complaining about Eskimos? I'm like, well, he must have a twin brother in Alaska or something. So,
Yeah. Ron, actually, that's how I found out about that. I'm like, what? Are you serious? That's the craziest thing I ever heard of. Turns out it's completely true.
Yep. Preferred status.
Well, appreciate it, Ray. Have a good weekend, man.
Bye, guys. Have a great day.
See you, bud.
So, did we learn anything today?
I don't feel good about that last joke I just made.
What? You don't?
I don't know. I don't feel good about it.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a...
Actually, I'm kidding. I loved it. I thought it was
Thought
one
it
of
was
the-
hysterical.
I thought it was one of
You're
my
making
better
me
ones.
feel bad.
Hey,
I'm
man.
going,
what I have learned is
I was
that,
just doing the yes and.
yeah.
You know.
What I learned is that in 7.5 weeks, the three of us are going to have to go out and go yard at some eating establishment.
Brazilian
Yes.
Steakhouse in Birmingham, where it's the all-you-can-eat steak, where
Yep.
you flip over the
Done.
card.
Do
We're
it.
all
We're doing
about
it.
that.
We're doing
Let's do it.
But let me go ahead and tell you, I've been several times. I've never been able to eat for more than like 4 minutes, and I'm full. So
Really?
I will need help prepping again. I mean, I've literally not eaten all day, only to go there, take 5 or 6 bites, and go. Ugh.
Yeah, get ready to see something spectacular.
I'm looking forward to it.
Okay.
I really want. I love that. I love
7
that.
I
weeks.
love Brazilian steakhouses.
Yeah.
Oh,
Now, how many days are we talking here?
7
That'd be
days
7
from
times
Monday.
7.
7 days from Monday.
Yeah.
Oh, so
anytime after that,
Okay, the weekend following, maybe.
we can do that.
All right.
Also, there will be a food coma.
Yeah, we'll have to make like on the way back if we carpool, there will be about 3 or 4 stops.
Oh,
and,
definitely.
Some poor migrant worker with a mop is going to curse our existence.
Let's get out of here before we say something else. Greg Budell, he's next.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. Egypt has sent a high-level delegation to Israel